But a really quick mic check. TBates, can you say something for the audience? Let's hear you.
The King's back. King. That's all you gotta know.
You just have to do any mic check, not like
You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, something.
The King's back. I'm glad you said that, TBates, because indeed I am back. Sitting in the middle this time as well, which I do enjoy sitting in the middle now. I think this is going to be nice. I want to make the best list again for chat.
We better get a start here. We've got 24 picks to get through, but before we do that, well, there's 48 players at the Winter Major, but we're going to do honorable mentions first. That's the 25th, so the player who just barely missed everybody's list.
Oh, God.
Let's see.
Wait, we had 25 on the list as an honorable mention. Oh, no.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
Oh, did you guys do 26? What have you guys done? It's 24.
No,
you asked for 25.
It says top 25 player predictions, and now we're doing an honorable mention as 25 , aren't they on the list?
That's what
okay, if you want, who's your honorable mention as 26? If I've confused anyone. All right.
I only wrote 25.
To be fair, that's not my problem. My problem is that I really want the player that now is my honorable mention on the list.
Oh no, he'll be on the screen. He'll be on the screen.
He'll be on the screen. KV1.
Oh wait, I think I've cropped it wrong, but he will be on the screen in a second. Let me just.
It's my 25.
Let me just crop this correctly. I've beamed it. Guys, talk amongst yourselves, please.
Okay.
Just a
while
second.
we do this, I want to call out
There
Mr. Jacob Bake 518 with the nonsense. Look, I know the stream just started, but saying if Zen isn't mentioned, this is a fraud has to be the most wildest thing I've seen.
What?
I get Vitali's going to the major, and Zen technically is going to the. Is he going to me? I don't even know if he's going to be.
No,
there.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He'll probably be there.
But
Really?
he's not playing.
I think he'll.
Well, last time Vitality sent I don't know, they sent Farah to London and everything, so when they weren't even playing. So I'm sure they'd like to send Zen for some content.
But you have to mention them. That's what I just told you right now is as much mention as Zen's going to get probably throughout this whole stream.
well, we've got some. I don't know. Do you guys have my stream up? I can also stream this to you guys on Discord. Hopefully, this doesn't ruin anything. There you go. You can see it live. We've got the honorable mentions up on the screen. 2 super luckies for myself and CJCJ, and then Andy for Dazerin, KV1 for Yummy Cheese. Man, I feel like there's an argument there, but okay, hold on a second here. TBates, what is going on? Jory is at 25. We need an explanation here immediately. The honorable mention.
That bad?
I don't know. I feel like that needs an explanation personally.
I think that's a guarantee that you're gonna get all 3 oxygen players on this list. I think. I mean. I'm gonna make sure I got Joris right there. That means the other 2 have to be somewhere on here. Now, Joris, listen, we're talking about expected performance, and so far, Joris, he's been at a couple lands, few lands, and he performs great early on, but then come bracket time, he tends to shrink. He tends to shrink, and I do believe that. Back in Rotterdam, he had maybe a little bit of home stage fright. The nerves got to him. He wanted to perform in front of his people. He had a whole entire family there cheering him on. It got to him a little bit, but he is really great. He's uber talented, and he's just got to show me that he can perform further into the bracket than he has, and I think even if he does, maybe move a little bit higher, but I liked him at 25. Got everybody else above that, I do feel it's gonna play maybe a little bit better than him, or has performed better than him at a land prior to this, and I could take that precedent and bring it on. So Joris, like I said, starts off the land hot, usually cools off, and I also think above all else that he is gonna take a backseat to those two land dogs he's got on his team. And I think that's gonna be fine. He's got 2 land dogs. He's got to take a back seat. He's still gonna be on the 25 list though.
Okay,
it might be the most sophisticated presentation of a pick I've ever heard. Like you're throwing a point out, giving reasoning.
Especially honorable mention pick.
Well, chat definitely wanted an explanation of that one. I'm not necessarily super against it, but we'll see. I don't want to give too much away so far. See, for super lucky, I want to know if CJ agrees, because you've got super lucky as your honorable mention as well. I think for me, the reason I wanted to put him here is because I feel like it's really hard in the group that they've got to do anything too crazy. I feel like being in the group of life, even if they make it out second, then no one's really going to be that impressed, and then probably just get eliminated round 1 of the actual bracket. I feel like maybe with a different group they could have got
if they come
big
out
upset
second,
win.
they're in a good spot to make top 8.
Really though, because who do they play?
Either Crew or G1, maybe G2 if they have a bad
Crew G1. Yeah, maybe it's possible. I feel like they're probably coming at third though, so I feel like it's tough. Because then you're playing G2 or FaZe, right? I just can't see them doing much.
I was going the other way in that, even if they don't do well, he is going to get a 2.1 rating against Gladiators like Joris circa full split major last season in Sweden. And he is going to absolutely dominate and he's going to get on the list. He's going to pop off. So that'll pump the stats up.
Yeah, I think he's going to be statistically good. But
can I say my honorable mention?
Your honorable mention? Yeah, sure.
Honorable.
Yeah, Alpha 54, my honorable mention.
Wait, what happened? I thought he was top 6 in the world.
What's player in the world to this?
Listen, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. I think that Vitality, they're going to struggle. They might honestly get 0-3 in this tournament. And Alpha is...
No, but he's the 6th best player in the world. There's no possibility he's going to be this bad.
Surely he's carrying this team if he's number 6 in the world last year, but now they've improved. Like, he was number 6 in the world and a team not even making lines. Now they've made a LAN. Like, surely he's carrying way beyond top 25.
Listen, I just wanted to put it out there. He's my honorable mention. I didn't know where I wanted to put him on the list. We're not talking about the top 25 players in the world. We're not talking about the top 25 players in the world. We're talking about the expected performance at the Winter Major. And listen, Alpha, I think he's going out 0-3 right here. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, no,
he's going 0-3. Okay.
What?
Okay.
0-3 though. Wow. I feel like they could go 2-1. I think
that's 0-3 dropping less than 400 points a game.
This is outrageous. Even if they don't do well, he's going to perform. He plays well at LANs. Like he's
Alpha 26.
Well, I kind of disagree with that.
Alpha 26.
I think his teammates could underperform at LAN, but I think he's going to go well. I think that's crazy. You can't say I don't know. I don't get you. I actually don't get you.
Because it's hard to get inside his brain.
No, listen. The other
wait.
We did a top players in the world that wasn't predicted performance. You had Alpha number 6, as all of us will remember. But the other players who are up there in the top 10 are players that, regardless of their team's result, they're on the top 24. They're that good that they're making an appearance on a list like this, even if the team goes 0-3, like Monkey Moon or other players like that. They're going to be on there, even if the team's terrible. But you don't think Alpha's got that ability to look good while his team's losing?
I mean, he has it, but I mean, is it gonna happen? I don't necessarily think it is. So.
I guess he watched event 2 of this split, so
he did. He went back and watched the VOD. It wasn't the best. wasn't the best one, but that's surprising. I thought you'd have him at least top 10. So this is already all over 10? The place. Yeah.
Well, my honorable mention as a note, because I wanted to trigger TBates again, because I've done this before to him, is Chicago. So. Everyone have a round on that.
I have no need.
In an NA LAN, like if it's an EU LAN, I did that last time. Chicago was my honorable mention for a LAN in Europe, but now it's in LA. It's in California. It's in NA. They usually do well in NA LANs. So what's happening to G2 in the NA LAN, Yumi?
True, but I've lost faith. I've just lost faith. I wish they did better in the regionals throughout this split. Or looked a little bit better, but. I had to find a spot, especially for some of my picks at the lower order, and so Chicago moved into that, and it's even funnier to mess with Bates. So,
well, now we're doing honorable mentions. Mine is Chicago as well.
Yep. Well, you already know that's just because CJ did his list wrong. Probably he wanted to put him in there. Probably forgot about him.
It was a conscious choice.
CJ's is accidental.
It was a conscious choice. I think he's currently the worst performing player. They're always usually pretty even, but I feel like I don't know. JNaps is looking a little bit better. He's looking a little bit better than his twin brother Chicago.
They tend to, I feel like, take turns a little bit, but yeah.
Y'all just manifesting the G2 run of dreams. 2 people doubted them already. Here they come. Going back to California. NA's never lost the LAN in California, and it doesn't seem like it's going to start anytime soon. He got two people. Have they ever lost it? Have they ever lost the LAN in California?
Absolutely, yes.
These was in California? It sure was. Evo.
At least, Bates, you're not plastic like somebody else on this list.
They've never lost the LAN in California in the months of March and April.
We're getting more specific, are we?
In the season
very
of
specific here. All right, hold on. I like Andy at 25 for Dazerin, by the way. That's a cool pick. One. I like that. I could see it. I'm gonna spoil it. I don't have him in or anyone from Dig in here, but if they do make it out of groups, I think you got to have him in there or got to have Evo in there or something. So that's cool to see.
I want Evo.
Possible.
I was debating between Andy and Evo, and I was talking to a couple people, and just kind of like one of those things where Evo's a great player, but Evo kind of allows Andy and Dries to be great with his playstyle. And now that Andy is like activated kind of with having Evo on that roster, he's just been doing so much better. So I got to give Andy that credit there.
I like that. It's cool to have a Dig player on there because I think that's a very difficult group to predict because anyone could really get through there. But okay, let's move on. We're talking about a lot of players.
Bates has Dig going through as well, so he's probably got Andy or Evo in here, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We'll see it, I'm sure, later.
All right, so I've got Alpha 54 in here. Who else have we got from Europe? We got some Europe players. Oh my goodness, look how unanimous we are on Super Lucky. This is insane. That's got to be the most close that we've ever been in one player. That's actually ridiculous.
I guess I'll explain myself, Johnny. I've got Ahmed here. Some people are like, what the hell? He should be higher, but I'm just still not sold on Falcons until the Rotterdam was pretty poor. And they always go online. They always do the same online. They just win, but obviously they're in the third regional. But I'm still not sold on them. So
coming in on form.
I don't know how well they're going to do at the event. It's hard to trust them.
There's some terrible names on this 24 list. Ahmed and Atomic. Wow. Ahmed, I guess you can make the argument. Maybe he's dropped out of the top 10 guaranteed. But then Atomic.
Okay.
24, Yumi, you got to explain that.
Is he too high or too low for you?
Don't worry about it. You got to explain your position. Of why you have him at 24.
He doesn't know what he has to explain. He's like, do I have to explain, argue him up or down here? What's the issue?
Well, you should be trying to argue him up because that's disrespectful. Okay. There's a reason that there's Atomic versus Atomic, G2 versus G1. It's so hyped up because people want to see that matchup. And you got that, man.
No, because it's a meme. Because it's G1, G2, and Atomic. Versus like, oh my God, it's Atomic and Atomic. They're the best players in the world. No, it's because it's funny, right? Don't.
Nah,
I don't have G1 going. I don't have them coming second in their group, and they may not even come top 8. So I kind of had to put Atomic down here. It's very, very tight amongst all these top 8, and in fact, top 6 teams really for me are stacking up this list. Unfortunately, I love G1. In fact, go back to the CJCJ show before the split started, and I was the one person who predicted on that show that G1 would qualify for the major. I like them, but I just don't think they're going to do well here at their first LAN. Give them a bit of time to cook.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. He's a stud.
He is. He's great. He's been great since he blew into the scene with
Johnny
and Reezy.
Yeah. Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that 2v2 go with Atomic? What was he doing in the boys?
I think he got second right before Dorito rage quit and kind of cut it short, and he cut back any comeback opportunity. Didn't he come second, chat? I think CRR was the winner and Atomic might have been second.
CRR took the dub because CRR is the better twos player out of both of them, but Atomic's nasty.
Atomic was winning. He won the first 4 games in a row, and then CRR came back and won it. Atomic got second, Raze Bull third, I believe, and then AJG fourth, and Dorito rage quit. So we got the full range of possibilities there.
Dorito rage quit out.
Yeah,
I was surprised. I tuned in. I saw Dorito with 1 win after a while. I said, "Wow, Dorito 1 win. That was crazy."
That's why he rage quit. Yeah, he was getting roasted by CRR and also by Atomic. His teammate were both roasting him, saying that he left because he's losing. So yeah, we didn't get to see the conclusion there. Maybe Atomic could have come back and won it, but yeah, CRR took the dub.
And how does Dorito forfeiting or rage quitting Johnny affect his placement on this list? That's what we need to know.
It just shows how special the young man is. How he's got skills to pay the bills, and that he's absolutely Yeah, those skills are gonna translate. Mechanics translate. He's the best on G1. G1's gonna make a little bit of noise, and I do believe that he's gonna ball out.
Oh, it's Atomic.
I'd love to see it.
Who are you talking about?
Atomic with the K. He's the best person.
Oh,
on
I thought you were talking
G1.
about
Yeah.
Dorito.
I think Yumi asked about Dorito, but yeah, you're talking about Atomic. That makes sense. I agree. Agree he's the best in the team, definitely. Yeah, I guess it just depends. Yummy, have you done your predictions? I don't want to make you spoil anything.
I have done my predictions, so people who see my prediction stream might.
So they're just like
understanding.
Are they just like 1-3, 1-2 in group and then eliminated, or what's going on there with G1?
Yeah, they went 9 to 12th to me though. The next pick might explain.
Let's get it then. All right, let's see.
Process.
Let's pull it up. Hold on.
Pull it up because I need to go first.
There you go.
Wait.
Myself and Yummy haven't talked, but I think that I've put Atomic 23 because I think he's going to be the best player on G1, but I don't think G1 are going to go that well.
It's Radosin on this.
So that's why I've got him there.
Oh, Radosin made it. And he's above Alpha 54.
What's wrong with Radosin? We've got all super luckies, by the way, within 2 rankings. Incredible. Well done, everyone.
Yeah.
We're genius. But I don't see any problem with Radosin. He's actually pretty good shout there. Could happen. Don't have too much of an issue with it.
Feel like strong chance for Vitality to make it out of groups. It all depends, but you said what?
They get swept after.
They might get swept after, but making it out of groups means you did pretty good.
There's a strong chance for them to make it. There's a strong chance they don't make it.
No, it's not.
They can lose to Dignitas.
They can also be Dignitas.
I will be interested to see where you put Falcons because you've got Andy. So, maybe they make it out of groups. Maybe Vitality make it out of groups at this point. So that'll be interesting.
Maybe all 4 make it out.
Okay.
Maybe Charming Club don't make it out.
I think the 23 picks on the other side though with TRK at Knight. What's going on with that though?
That's respectable. What do you mean?
Knight's an interesting shout because he might pop off in the group of life. He could pop off. I
put him in there last time, but it was KV1.
Oh
yeah.
KV1 is sad.
I think Knight had a great performance given the play style they had at that event too. So
yeah.
I don't think it's bad to have Knight.
He's more of an attacking guy. They put up a defensive masterclass, so KV1 and Sad were shining. But if they're like actually in attack for 2 minutes,
he's the stat man.
He's a stat farmer against the teams they're supposed to beat. So maybe they're going to actually pop off this time.
TBates looked at the Octane GG team secret stats for the split.
Yeah, he
had to put Knight up there.
I know you did. He absolutely did for sure. Yeah, because he's been stat padding this split, but he was the worst performer statistically at the fall major.
At the major, yes, he sure was. Listen, I know my stats. I give him a quick look.
So, Johnny, why do you hate TRK now? It's just
I just think there's a chance.
Falcons.
There's a chance that they, I don't want to put them up too high on my list in case they lose to the U.S. Embassy again and they don't get visas. Then I want to leave the top of the list with clean,
the U.S.
accurate.
Embassy. Yeah,
they might lose to the U.S. Embassy again like last year, and not even be there. But no, really, seriously. I've been watching them. They're playing a LAN right now. They played today. They're playing tomorrow against Rule 1. In fact, you guys should check it out. They're playing Rule 1 on a LAN in Saudi Arabia, $100,000 LAN. Called Saudi E-League. It's been going on. They played a group stage last weekend. They played against Twisted Minds today, which is a team of Telem, AMS, and Zizonix. Team they should be beating comfortably. And they went game 7, multiple overtimes, scraped a win. They also lost in group stage to a team they should be beating. I don't know, recently they've just not looked as... that's a LAN, and they're looking pretty rough on LAN in Saudi.
I'm glad you said that.
And they they also lost the most recent regional to Rule 1. They won the 2 before that, but they're not on a great streak at the moment. Didn't do too well last time they went to America for a LAN at the World Championship. Didn't get to go to the Winter Major last year, so this is new territory. This is the farthest they've traveled for a Rock League LAN, probably flying out very late. If they're going to play the LAN in Saudi next weekend, this LAN they're playing right now continues till next weekend, so they'll have to play the LAN, then fly out. I don't know. Cards are stacked against them. I think there's too many odds against them, so I'm going to go low on Falcons this time, personally.
Yeah. And in terms of... Well, I was hoping you'd be biased, but you can see a little bit of bias in me and Super Lucky over Atomic because I'm betting on the the hometown advantage. Well, not hometown advantage. Hometown heroes for OCE to beat them in a game 5. So Super Lucky end up above to make the top 8.
That would be pretty interesting. I would love to see it. I mean, I hope they can do something because yes,
TBates does not have any faith, but you put Super Lucky on the list at one behind
24. Yeah, it's just I guess the atomic pick he doesn't like. Let's continue. We need some more context here, so I'll pull up the next round. Okay, I had to double check. There's so many chronic. Atomic, like all these like names that sound
Nolly,
astronomic.
Come on.
So hard.
Why does everyone hate Nolly?
22.
Johnny,
that is disrespectful to Nolly, man. They like explain yourself. Explain.
There was times at the last land when Nolly was hard carrying.
I can explain myself. So I think that they might lose in group this time. They've got, they've had Complexity's number recently, but Complexity before that had their numbers, so it just, it could really go either way. I think I'm favoring Gen G, but they could lose that. That's a losable series. They could definitely lose to Oxygen. Oxygen had their number at the Fall Major, so I could see Gen G losing there. And if they do not win their group, I believe that will put them on the same side of the bracket as FaZe. So they're going to lose that, I think, as well. So I don't think Gen G are going to do as well as the Fall Major here, because the teams they're running into probably going to play FaZe and lose. Could lose to Oxygen, could lose to Complexity. I can see a lot of losses here. They're very possible.
If they come second in the group, they'll be on the opposite side of FaZe. If they come third in the group, which I'm guessing you're betting on.
First, I think first, third. FaZe. I mean, yeah, they could win. They could come third. There's a decent chance they could play FaZe and they lose. I don't think Karmine Corp. Like a lot of people think Gen G are just guaranteed finals. I don't think so. Recently, their form's
I don't think they're guaranteed
off.
Finals. I don't think anybody's guaranteed finals.
I think they would lose to FaZe. I think Karmine Corp. I take Karmine Corp over them right now as well. Liquid are very close to them in Fall Major, and now they're playing even better. Gen G have kind of gone into a bit of a slump online, so I don't know. Gen G, I'm not as big as I predicted Gen G to win the last LAN. This time, I'm not as big on them.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're doing the same thing you did to Astral last time. You're forgetting that Nolly's a LANer. This would be the worst performance of Nolly at any LAN he's been to since London.
But I mean, it depends because he's an enabler, but I try to stick to like the stats and the goals and like the actual like things that are undeniable because just saying I'm gonna put Nolly in top 5. I'm gonna switch Nolly and Jack actually because Nolly's like doing all of the facilitation. Like if you're facilitating a teammate, your teammate's still the one doing something. So yeah, he's a brilliant enabler, but he's enabling teammates to go and do more. He's one of the best. So yeah, I think he's one of the best enablers, but I mean you can't give him all the credit for that. His teammates actually have to do something when he's enabling them in order for it to work. So
come on, Daz.
I'm just so confused. I'm just trying to figure out. I don't understand it.
Is he reading the contracts? Like trying to figure out what am I allowed to say?
Listen, I already went on a magazine in San Diego and said Gigi's the best team in the world. So you already know where I'm coming. I'm coming with that energy this time. Oxygen are flying from across the world. They've never played a LAN together. You got them beating GG Mobile One Racing, who just got finished clapping everybody up at the Fall Major because they lost a couple of series online of FaZe Clan after winning the first regional event coming back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think is going to happen. Yeah.
I'm lightheaded.
I think Gen G could definitely lose to Oxygen. It didn't look like a skill thing. It looked like a mental thing when they lost to Oxygen in the Fall Major. It looked like they had a bit of a mental block. Archie was speculating that they had a mental block against them.
But now the LAN champs.
What's changed? They still have to play against a team. Not only did they won. Hold on. So they went into the matchup against Oxygen in the Fall Major, got destroyed. If they had a mental block going in and now they've gotten destroyed, it's like imagine two fighters and you go in and you're like, oh man, I don't think I can beat this guy. Then you get knocked out and then you got to go fight him again. Like, I think that mental block's got to still be there.
Well, that analogy in the two fighters is you versus me. Like, and like, if I want to keep going further, if I want to keep going further, I have to beat you.
And if they didn't beat Oxygen. They beat other teams. They beat other people.
Yeah,
but now their boogeyman
I'm
is
saying
back.
In the boxing analogy, if it's two fighters, if I want to go say we're both two contenders for the world for the belt, but to get to the belt, I have to beat you and I lose that, then I have to wait. I have to try to beat you again. And they can lose to Oxygen and then still make it throughout the bracket and still prove that they can still become champions.
They got the belt. They got the belt. No, they got it. They got the belt. They just didn't beat Oxygen to do it. Oxygen and Gen G were contenders for the belt, aka the championship. Oxygen beat Gen G, but then Oxygen lost to someone else while Gen G went on a title run, and then they won it without beating the team that they clearly had a mental block against, who now also destroyed them. So I feel like the mental block can only be bigger. Like, how have they fixed that?
They lost a phase. Also, after starting off hot in the series, you got the hometown cheering. Raul called a timeout. Next thing you know, Oxygen got destroyed. Now, listen, that was cool. That was you bring up a solid point, but the problem is that the team style is different, and Oxygen is still finding their form, and also the fact that we have 3 crowd days instead of 2. I think that's going to be a big element here, because now when you have like these actually, I don't think that might have an impact. Now I'm thinking about it, because when do they play? Oh no, they'll play in front of a crowd. Yeah, round 3, Gen G, Oxygen. That has to be a crowd match, I'm assuming. Now, if that's the case, I think it's a whole different ball game. And I know Rise that guy. I gotta give Rise that credit. But I think with them traveling around the world and with them not figuring out everything that they got, like how to properly play as a team, not only online, but they're gonna have to bring it to a LAN environment. I'm not seeing it. Just can't see it.
I don't know. They look fine as a team, right? In the last event, maybe not, but Rise was playing with a broken wrist, so I don't really take that too seriously. Like, word on the street is that his wrist is going to be fine for the major. He's already practicing again, got the cast off, so I can't imagine he's going to have too many issues. He is like one of the greatest LAN players of all time. Like, how can adding one of the greatest LAN players for all time to Oxygen harm their chances compared to a team they already destroyed with like a LAN rookie?
It increases their chances, but Gen G winning, since Gen G has lost to Oxygen, Gen G won. So that only increases their chances. They've proven that themselves that they can win. That
but they were when they lost to Oxygen last time, they were on an undefeated run, and now they're not.
Matter,
now they've lost two events in a row. You don't think Gen G are doubting themselves after losing twice to FaZe? I think they absolutely will be. They're probably talking about it often. Like, how are we supposed to beat this team? And have we maybe gotten worse? You're telling me that when you lose twice to a team you previously farmed, you don't stop to think once, like, did we like fall off a little bit?
You've also beaten them, though.
You start to think
they've beaten them on a LAN in fall major. You start to think that okay, they've gotten a little better. Maybe we gotta go back to the drawing board and work a couple things out. But you don't think that, like, oh man, they got our number or something. Not a chance. We won.
Well, why are Oxygen saying that then? Why is Archie say, yeah, I think that, you know,
Archie's the most confident young man in the world.
Archie and Rise both say, you know, I think they just got a mental block against us. Like, they're saying it. They think it's true. Like,
they can think whatever they want to think. We'll see what happens when they're on the field.
I don't know. I just think it's reasonable. I think I've got a reasonable story here that could happen. That's why I think it's going to happen. I think it's very reasonable.
You know, there's an argument there. I will agree to that much.
I think they're one of the teams that are contending to win.
Are they going to feel more pressure knowing they have to go back to back, you know, and they haven't been doing well?
No, because they're knowing them, they'll probably go in being like, we probably ain't finna win this. Because that's how they came into the season, thinking that they were just going to be a middle of the pack team and they end up winning. But they do have a really good work ethic, and that's kind of my argument. Whenever they lose, they always come back stronger, and they've been doing that repeatedly. So that's where I'm like planting my feet on that one.
Okay, right. I guess we should move on because we're on like 4 out of 25 so far. Let's see what we got next.
Great chat, guys. Great chat.
See what we got next.
Nah, you can't have the bull at 21. You can't have the bull that
CR at 21. At 21.
You can't have the bull. You can't have the bull down there.
You gotta throw shade at me about having CR at 21, buddy. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
I was deflecting.
You tried to deflect quick, but I saw it too, man. That's incredible. That's insane. The atomic disrespect coming out the whole entire right side of me is crazy. That is insane. That is an insane disrespect. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a disrespect. He's 21. There's like how many players here? Like,
he's really good. He's really good.
Oh my god! I can't believe CJ saved your list, Bates. That's crazy.
Yeah, CR.
I'm putting CRR at 21, and you putting Raiseball 21. There's no. I forgot. South American TBates.
Yeah, you always rank the SAM players low, even if they're.
I'm all about just if you're gonna have a couple of players really high, then you're expecting them to nearly win the whole thing, get top 3. I'm all about I've got to spread them out. That's why I've got a Chronic at 22. I've got to spread the liquid players out a bit. They're not just gonna They're not going to just smack every single person going to come across. They're going to have some tough games. They're not going to. I don't think they're going to win it, but they'll be up there. So I've got to spread them in. I've got to spread CRO. When you see where the bull is in my rankings, it'll make sense.
I guess I will, because CRO is definitely better than the bull, and I love Ray's bull. I think he's a great player, but CRO is definitely him. He's definitely him on that team.
Yeah, it's time for me to call out chat. Guys, I didn't put Sypical on my last list, and it was prophetic. I've never seen a worse performance from a player in any match than Sypical in that semi-final. He hard through. It was a 3v2. No, it was a 4v2, really, because Sypical played so badly in that semi-finals that Gen G had an extra player for their team. And Sypical has been much better. That's why he raises up in this list. He's played a lot better throughout this split. But I have zero trust in Sypical at LAN. I want to see the Sypical that I expected at the end of last season actually be able to perform at LAN. But for now, Sypical has been still, in my opinion, outshone by obviously First Killer and Mist throughout this split. So he's going to be the bottom of them for this. What? And I just can't trust him on LAN.
Sypical being outshone this split?
Oh, 100%. 100%. He's the worst player in the team. 100%.
No. When we say worst, they've all been playing really well.
Oh, they've been playing great. Yeah.
He's the worst player in the team, though. Like, I mean, there's 3 players. 2 of them are better than the other. I think Sypical's the worst in the team. They're still the really good team, so being the worst in the team is still really good, but he's the worst on the team. Like, I would agree with you.
I'm salty because last time I got told I had the worst list ever because Sypical wasn't on my list. And I was 100% dead on right. And now that I've put him on my list, you guys are still not happy in chat. And it's time for you guys to sit down because my list was easily the best last time in hindsight.
Okay.
And I've got the faith.
I wasn't here.
I know that Sypical, you can love him as much as you like. I like the guy. Okay. I like Sypical. But is he going to perform? No.
One thing. Can I just break rank here for a second here? Because I want to back up Yumi. I got Sypical at 20. You're all ridiculous if you think.
Let's go.
Yumi's like way off here. I think he's bang on. He's bang on.
Yeah, put him up. Let's just go. Let's get rolling.
I bet you there's all Sypical on
We should put their rankings on like every minute or every like 2 minutes. The next line comes up, so we just keep flowing.
Too much. It'd be too quick.
We would get carried away. We get just like completely behind.
Okay.
Nah, you can't have the bull at 20. Again, you're just underrating.
J-Naps at 20 is crazy. You got Napman at 20? Napman at 20? Your list is terrible, buddy. Bro. Your list is awful. Napman at 20?
I'm sorry that you love
you gotta be bro. You gotta be real with yourself. When has Naps ever not performed at minimum top 15 since the open era?
Spring major.
London.
Spring major.
Fall major.
London.
Fall major. Whoa. Fall major. He was balling out. He was balling in fall major.
No, he wasn't.
He definitely wasn't. Losing 0-3 to Power, who can't even make the major.
That was a team problem.
Team problem. Team go.
That was a team problem. Naps was doing his thing. Naps was doing his thing.
Okay.
Top 20, bro.
Okay, so Alpha 54 has a team problem and he can't get top 26.
That's right.
J-Naps has a team problem and he's got to be at the top 10.
Even when he's not the best player in the team. Like, come on, base. There's some inaccurate logic here. I'm just saying, now, J-Naps, he's had some bad line performances, but they were in Europe. This is in America, so yeah.
This is in America. He always performs.
I think that's a fair argument for saying that he should be much higher, but...
Yeah, not that he's a consistent line performer. He's a consistent line performer in North America, so that's the argument, I reckon, in NA.
Oh, my God.
Look, if G2 could have done anything in the regionals this split, then I would have loved to put J-Naps in my top 10. I was huge on J-Naps at the Winter Major last year. He was in the I think he was the MVP of groups for me. But
could have been, yeah.
You know, it's been a different story online for them recently. I don't know why people are going to be putting in as much faith in them as a team. And realistically, the way I did my list is a large part of it. It was a ranking of the teams and then figuring out how they get to that ranking, how they get to those placements.
We've been here before. We have been here before with the G2 slander. And what happens every single time?
They lose the power.
No. They show up because what happened in LA?
I did forget the NA factor for G2, but
Grand Finals. I'm not saying I'm a G2 homer here, but I wouldn't sleep on
Y'all sleeping on one of the most consistent teams in the game. There's a reason they're at Leverland.
I don't see any G2 players on my list. I don't see any G2 players.
Okay, wait, no.
List.
Okay, well, listen, Johnny, your list has got only a 22. Maybe you're sleeping a little bit on Gen G.
Hey, if you put one team down, you have to like put another team up. Like, holy, I can't have all the teams in the top like 15 here. You know, maybe the Nolly's vacancy in top 20 has been filled
all I'm saying
by G2
is,
player. Possibly.
G2's never lost the land with the groups format since we came back.
What, like they're 1 out of 1?
They're 1 of 1.
You are reaching so hard.
They're 1 of 1.
I believe you. I think JNAP should be higher than that. But the takes you're coming out with, like when has G2 not performed at a major, is terrible. Like you give me bad arguments, but I'm on your side.
I think looking back, realistically, G2 terrible. G2 great. G2 terrible at London. G2 great at Worlds. G2 absolutely miserable. So they're about to come due, right? So maybe I am wrong. They always take a split off, right?
JNAP's at 20. You're about to have Atomic at 17.
To be fair though, you could have Chicago in there, unless it was Chicago honorable mention. I can't remember.
No, I put him as my
honorable mention. So he's gonna have Atomic at 17 somehow.
The honorable mention. Okay, I forgot about that.
I do want to quickly ask this, Dazerin. I want to know if you're going to be rating Falcons the highest or the lowest of us.
I'm probably rating Falcons the highest of everyone.
Okay, the Falcons believer. I love it.
Yeah, I think I feel like this is, and I could be wrong. I was going to wait for it to happen before to have a conversation about it, but I do feel like the stock in Falcons in terms of like hype and stuff has kind of gone down a little bit, and I feel like
they're kind of I've been buying Falcon stock.
Instill that fear again of a lot of people. Like a big showing here would be something that I think I would want to see. So I don't have them super high. I think just kind of spoil a little spoiler, kind of like middle of the pack here. But yeah, that's one of those for me.
But by the way, I have G2 as one of probably second best of the 5th to 8th teams. So you can kind of guess where they're all placing. Yeah. They're losing quarters. Bates, who are they beating between FaZe, Carmine Corp, or the winner of Group D?
Any of them.
Why?
Okay, thank you.
What do you mean why?
Like there's what happened? What happened for that to occur?
Yeah, what's changed?
What caused the upset?
They just won.
I think G2 have by far the hardest bracket of anyone.
Would you just say they wanted it more, or they will want it more on the day?
No, that's they just won. They performed better on the day.
Oh, excuse me.
This land's pretty close.
You got to give some reasoning for an upset. Would you agree that G2 beating like a FaZe, Carmine Corp, Gen G, Liquid would be an upset right now? If it happened, it would be considered an upset.
Well,
just by default, it would be an upset. Based on like form.
What's the definition of upset? Like if the odds
the underdog
wins. Vegas,
the underdog
sure,
wins.
I guess it would be an upset, yes. Because,
okay, so if you're predicting an upset, I think you've got to say why. You can't just be like, I think they're just gonna. If your reason is they're gonna pop off in that series, then sure.
They play really good Rocket League. They just have a couple of defensive mistakes that they make. Like the FaZe series in the grand final, I keep talking about it on my stream, and anybody else that asks me, the FaZe series in the grand final, that came down to Game 3, in my opinion. Game 3, G2 had them dead in the water, had the lead block, would have taken that game into overtime, and instead the ball rolled in front of the goal and nothing happened. Because they tried to overcomplicate
what series?
things.
They did.
That was FaZe grand final on DFH, where they had the two. It was Atomic and Jade, I believe, on the lead block. But wait,
what season? What split?
That was this season in the Western Invitational.
Oh,
and then they lost. They lost the series 4-1. But I was watching the series, and I said, whoever wins this game is gonna win the series.
They were never winning that. They were never winning that.
But that's what it was. That's what
G2.
That's how close it is
on an NA LAN. I think your best argument is it's a North American LAN. That's where they shine. But like trying to say that they were about to beat FaZe in that final, I think that's a stretch. Like
it's all about momentum for these teams.
They've been playing crossbar split online, all split, crossbar split, crossbar challenge, like all split. They're just like they're glued to the crossbar every time they shoot. I don't know what's going on with them. I
just can't see them beating FaZe. They keep losing to them online easily. FaZe are in high form as well on top of that, which then puts them up against Carmine Corp, and they lose there. So I'd love to put JNAPs higher.
So you mean to tell me that you just can't see them beating FaZe? Like there's not a world where they could beat FaZe?
Very unlikely.
I mean, being realistic, not
okay.
Of course.
So what about the world where they beat BDS in the Winter Major last year.
I mean, that was.
I think you would say the same thing.
Don't bring up that
series. You would say the same thing last year. Would you say the same thing? You can't see a world where G2 would be BDS last year, but they did it. So explain to me what is this? They're the best teams in the world.
I mean, one, you can argue that that wasn't much of a win. It was a game 5 overtime with Mark missing 2 goals. No, don't come off the major. Don't be that Andy. Bloody TBates Andy going, G2, Andy. They basically 3-0'd BDS in that series, so they were clearly
I know
the
they won game 5, but a W is a W. I'm not going to say it's going to be a sweep.
Of course
but
it's a W. It counts for the tournament results, but don't act like they were 10 times better than BDS.
At the end of this stream, I got to ask y'all who y'all think can win this major. I got no teams. Well, I asked y'all at the end of the streams.
I mean, it'll be obvious for my picks, but I'm sure it'll be obvious for most people's picks who's going to win the major. You don't need to ask us. But
I guess.
They literally, G2 have the hardest bracket out of anyone. So I think anybody putting G2 really high up are hoping that they beat FaZe, Carmine Corp, or the winner of Group D. But
Carmine Corp that didn't look
is
good.
going to be one of the favorites to win the entire event.
This iteration of Carmine Corp, which is why we didn't touch on the exotic, because honestly, Johnny having an exotic is questionable. But the Carmine Corp that we know has only been an online team. We saw him at Rotterdam, and it was a 1v3. It was very clear. Itachi has performed well at LANs before. Exotic performed well at the World Championship. But at Rotterdam, they both were terrible. They both were terrible. It was Vati doing everything. So, that's the Carmine Corp we saw. So you're assuming that Carmine Corp this time is going to be ridiculously good, which is, I guess.
They were ridiculous until the one series
until bracket time where the money's on the line, and then they.
But come on, you got it. That's not telling the whole story. Like Carmine Corp were super nervous because they're the most passionate fans in the Rocket League team's history. Were out there. Cheering for them. I don't know. They said that they were very nervous because they were afraid of disappointing their fans, the Carmine Corp Ultras that were in the venue. But I don't think there's going to be any KC Ultras, or at least many of them, in the Winter Major. So they've done fine whenever those aren't present. So I don't know if that's going to be a repeated thing. I mean, they've all had good LAN performances in the past. I don't think they're going to have any issues, personally. That was one series that went wrong.
Oh, God,
they've all played multiple.
Against SSG.
But they played multiple great series on LAN in front of crowds as individuals in different teams. Now they're together on a super team, and they're in the best form they've ever been in. I don't know. Just pointing at one bad series, that's not a big sample size.
Itachi and Exotic didn't play well.
What were you going to say? Because you wanted to talk.
Well, no, I was just going to say, T-Bate says, Joris, he was nervous. He had his family members there. Yeah, imagine having an entire section of the crowd banging drums, hoping that you keep winning. They had so much pressure on them. They'll be fine. And they still got top 8. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't a polar opposite performance. So, anyway, T-Bates, I'm glad that we've got the similar picks here. TRK, a Chronic. Obviously, you've got the wrong complexity player down there at 21, but I think we're pretty lined up at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to number 19.
Very aligned. I think you should be one of you should probably be worried. I'm not going to say who, but let's continue here. Let's get 19 and see what we've got. Bit of EU, some more EU on this one.
Oh my God, Itachi 19.
Whoa!
Oh, not the person that gets carried by Vatira and only scores tap-ins. At 19.
What do you mean? He's a good player. It deserves to be at 19. It deserves to be at 19. What do you mean?
He's lost.
I'm not being funny. No, I haven't thrown.
You've thrown. We're 7 names in, and you've lost already.
No, I haven't thrown because listen. I need everybody to understand me, bro. Itachi did not play well last LAN. I've been consistent on it from the get go. He played pretty solid online in the fall. He's pretty solid. He has elevated his online play in the winter. He has. I will concede that. And I think there's a great team. They're the best team in EU. They have the best player. E-balls out every single time. At LAN, Itachi was miserable. He was miserable. And it wasn't just one series. Y'all can go back and watch those series. It was the writing was on the wall that they were going to lose because Batiro was doing everything. And it's just simple and plain. That's just how it was. And if I'm going off of that precedent, I was struggling to even put him on the list But then I was like, he's not. Then I was like, I'm serious. It was not good. It was not a good performance of him or Exotic. But I was like, he's elevated his play. He's one of the best facilitators in the game online. And I think that he could do some damage. I think he could do some damage at this upcoming land. So that's why I put him in there at 19.
So you have
This is me having faith in him. This is me having faith in him.
Ridiculous.
You're completely removing the online where, Itachi's outperformed Vatira in some regionals. You're getting rid of that.
Okay, it's on. Okay,
First two regionals.
Regional 1 and 2, the ones they won.
Listen. We can talk about the online, who played better, yada. He plays well online. I get that. But it's about land. It's a different type of beast. And there's a lot of expectations. You're on a team who's expected to win.
But Bates, do you not see the obvious playstyle change that Itachi's had this split? He's been much more attacking.
What's the obvious playstyle change?
Vatira in the first split was very much leading a lot of the attacks. He was like the first player up, and then Itachi and Exotic could play off of him. If you watch the second split, this one, Itachi is mostly leading the attack, and Vatira is sitting back like he did on Moist and like he did on Queso. Vatira third man, just coming in to clean things up. Still obviously makes his own plays, but Itachi's been majority leading attacks. He's taking more of an aggressive role. Vatira sitting back, I think, has brought out the best of him. I can't imagine that they're going to switch it up and online. I think they're going to do that. They're going to do what they've been doing online. This new aggressive Itachi that seems to be working brilliantly for Karmine Corp and for him. Like, why would they put him back in defense if he's? I think
he could perform well, but I just don't see him performing like that. But
we're not saying he's performing well. We're saying he's the online MVP. He was the MVP of the split in EU. MVP Itachi.
TBates watched one series and has judged all of his opinion on that from one quarterfinal. But Itachi's played well all through Worlds, where they were the closest team to taking down BDS. Through London Major, he was a major factor for Karmine Corp. He's a certified LANer for me. He's a certified LAN boy.
I need to shout out Powder's comment in chat here. Itachi this low is insanity, and I'm a brain dead NA viewer. That's phenomenal. 10 out of 10 comment there.
Bro, there's no way you're calling about Itachi, but you got Noli at 22. I got a land champion against somebody who hasn't won anything. I got a man who always performs versus a man who only performs online.
Who's the worst player in Genji? Who's been the worst player in Genji every event overall? He's had series where he's been the best. Who's the worst player in Genji?
Oh, it ain't Noli, I'll tell you that much. It ain't Noli. There's no way it's Noli.
You can't say that. It ain't Jack, it ain't Noli, and it ain't Chronic.
I think that's a good point.
I just think Noli is
weaknesses.
I'm obviously trying to put you. I'm loading the question a little bit. I'll be honest. I'm loading the question to get the clip, out there. But no, I think Noli's he's a facilitator in that team. Exotic's a facilitator in Karmine Corp, and Itachi's just popping off. He's doing insane things. So I think
Noli's the engine.
You got to put the facilitators. I usually rank facilitators lower than their teammates.
Which is just crazy.
They're the ones who are popping off. They're the
most important. They're usually the most important parts of the team.
I think Noli pops off as the facilitator, to be honest. But
I think they're both bad picks. I don't think we should be comparing, Noli at 22 versus Itachi at 19 because I think they're both terrible.
I think Noli and Exotic do super similar things for their
CJ.
teams.
You're smart.
I think they're very similar for their teams, and I reckon that's why I got them together. Exotic and Noli very similar on two different teams, similar kind of roles, but I like them both a lot. But yeah, I think they're outshone by both their teammates, I would say.
Let's see
how you guys put them up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where you guys have got them. You guys must have a very dominant Genji and Karmine Corp and FaZe performance coming up if they're not making any showings yet. We'll see.
I've got FaZe.
Whoa, Oski at 18?
Atomic at 18.
Atomic at 18?
I thought I was being harsh on Jane. I mean, you thought I was being harsh on Jane Apps, but Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, look, you just watch Rotterdam. The Nap man.
Watch Rotterdam?
If you watch Rotterdam,
where Atomic averaged 450 points.
Yeah, well, they lost the power, but anyway.
Yeah, 450 points.
Let me talk about Mike. There was just this one moment where the Naps, he just went off the ceiling, a little reset, just the old boy, showing the tricks. And that just excited me. And I've got to spread them out because G2, as we said, they have the toughest run. They're not going to, if they go far, they're going to win it all. If they can get through what they look like they need to get through. But it's going to be tough. It's tough to get all the G2 boys up that high. Obviously, I don't have Chicago on the list either, but I think Natman's gonna go better. I don't like giving away my picks. I feel like I need to just let it play out. You know what I mean? Everyone goes, this is outrageous. But once you see...
he's trying to get the flack off him. He knows he's just lost.
He
knows it's over. CJ knows that's his chance is gone. Any chance of winning is gone.
I just can't... Atomic must be the most disrespected player in the world. He's got to be. He's got to be.
Compared to your vision of the perfect human being,
he's got to be the most disrespected player in the world. I have not seen somebody be so consistently great for like basically a year and a half.
Wait,
so consistently great, and so many people continue to sleep on him. I think he's the only person that's like that. He's the only person.
Has Atomic?
Like,
oh no,
Atomic's variance on these lists, it moves so much because there's always gonna be someone on the list that has Atomic low, always, and it's crazy to me. He has been
Has Atomic had bad events? Bates, has Atomic ever had a bad event?
Atomic's
regional,
worst,
like online or offline?
Atomic's. Oh, I don't know about region. That's a lot of them. Atomic at LAN is probably worst event would be Sweden when he was on Envy. That was his worst event. Other than that.
If you've got T-Bates, if you've got all of G2 here,
no, Spring Major he was bad as well. Come on, don't
Major he was pretty good.
Don't sugarcoat it. The whole team was terrible. They were all over the place.
I mean,
Rotterdam, he was also like not great.
Let's put the goggles off. Let's put the G2 goggles off. If you've got them all inside now, top 17, top 16, you've got them coming like top 4. Like that's the way I'm looking at my rankings, and I just don't see how they're going to get through FaZe or a KC. Or a first seed. So I think that
I ain't never seen someone get so disrespected as so great. I don't get it. Maybe it's Kai.
Atomic is way too low.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop hyping up Atomic. You listen. Other people are gonna see how great you are.
Calm down.
If we're not doing who's the best 25 players in the world, right now, it's how they're gonna perform at the event and how the team's gonna go. If he's not gonna go far, I can't have him high.
You must have him getting
out. I actually think JNAPS is going to go better. So
okay, well, JNAPS better not be 17 on this list, otherwise you're just useless.
Well, exactly. Let's let it play out, and then you can thank me. Okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Actually, you might not. Where do I have him?
I am surprised, by the way, that I have Falcons the highest out of the people here. Well, maybe Johnny Boy and.
I've had
him higher than CJ, I guess.
I've just been watching the Saudi E-League where they're struggling right now versus teams that they usually destroy, so they're not in the best form, looking a bit off.
Yeah, see that.
So I'm basing a little bit on that because it is a LAN. It's not an RLCS LAN, but it's a LAN. I think that's relevant. But it's also very, very close to the Winter Majors, so I think it's very relevant. But yeah, even I don't know. Even in Worlds, the only other North American event they played, they didn't look that as good as they usually do. So I'm a bit low on them for this one.
Well, to be fair, so I kind of brought that up because I want to explain a little bit why I have them up here, because I have them the same results, kind of like the G1 Ground Zero area. But when I went through the list, it's like a respect pick because I was like, who can make a grand final here? I couldn't see G1. I couldn't see Ground Zero making a grand final. But I could see Falcons, so it's kind of just a respect pick. Same with Alpha 54, though. I think he's above my placement of that team because I think that he's going to make it through groups and look good doing so. So those are the probably only 3 players that are outside of my placements, really.
Interesting.
Pull up the next one.
Have we had... I'm trying to see very quickly, do we have any other player who's appeared on everyone's list apart from Super Lucky? No, I don't think so, right?
So.
Unless
not KV1.
Not TRK yet. Not KV1 yet. We're 4 out of 5. We're 4 out of 5 on TRK and KV1. Joria's is 1, 2, 3 out of 5. Yeah, we'll see. We're getting close. Let's go see the next one. Got some NA.
Joria's 4 here. Okay, so Johnny has G2 going high as well because he's clearly got all 3 of them.
Yes, NA LAN. I think G2 are going to do quite well. So I reckon
you can't just say NA LAN. It's also like who they're playing. It's like a poor. You can't say,
I don't think they're going to win. Like I don't think that G2 are going to win it. But I think that my range on them is semis if they do well, and top 8 if they don't do well. I think I'm quite honing in on a very specific.
So we'll throw. So who are they beating then? Who are they?
I think they're going to come second in group. I think G2 go 2-1 in group. They beat G1. They beat Crew, and then I think they win round 1 of the bracket, and then they probably lose quarters, but it's going to be respectable loss in quarters.
So if they get second in their group, round 1 of the bracket, so then they're going up against Carmine Court.
Yeah,
quarterfinal.
Yeah, but I think it'll be a respectable loss. So I think they're going to look pretty good.
Quarterfinal loss. I still don't. Can you have all 3 of them in there in a quarterfinal? I think you're overthinking it.
We'll see. I think if you do the law of averages at the end here, you'll see that I don't have them as high as you might think. We'll see. We'll see. Everybody's having a good laugh here at Bates for not only ruining his list with like Itachi at 19, but now he's just doubled and tripled down by putting Oski and Atto at 18, 17. Like Bates has lost this so comfortably. I'm loving it. But Bates, please explain yourself. What is Atto doing at 17? Beside Oski, like, come on. What's happening?
Listen. Y'all tell me. Listen, chat. Once again, I'm just coming with facts. Liquid. First off, it's hard to separate them all anyways. It's hard to separate them all anyways.
Clearly for some people.
Around the same level. They all play around the same level. That y'all gotta acknowledge that fact. And then on top of that, they usually keep getting top 8. That's just what they do. They get top 8 and they lose. And that's it. Hey, that might just happen. And can they all perform? I think if they all perform, they've all been like 10, 11, 12 anyways. So
I know Bates' strategy.
So
what he does is go for a bunch of wild picks, and then when one of them's correct, he'll be like, see, Alpha 54 was the best, the 6th best player in the world. Trust me, because he came second in a single event in EU. So he is the 6th best.
Also, y'all got mid chat. Liquid is gonna be one of the few teams on this list, on my list, that has all 3 players. It's a very small amount of teams that has that, which a lot of other teams ain't gonna be able to match.
But they're all kind of average,
all 3 of them on. Okay, but it doesn't matter though, because all 3 of them on against either having 1 on or 2 on means that you're probably doing better than everybody else. So where's the hate on that? Why do I have to have a ridiculously high when I don't think that as individuals they're gonna perform better than people who are above
it's
them?
Because Bates, Team Liquid has the potential to win this entire major, and you said in their argument that they finished top 8, and that's a fact. It's not a fact. We watched them take down Carmine Corp in the regional. This split.
Land.
Okay,
they almost beat Gen G on LAN. They nearly beat Gen G.
The team that won the LAN.
Okay, they always lose to the winners, but almost don't count.
Almost
don't count.
Did FaZe?
They were the only team that beat them in 7 games.
Almost don't count. It's about getting the W. Oh my God.
No, you cannot tell me that a 4-3 is the same as a 4-0. That is just not true.
Almost doesn't count.
Is 4-3 the same as a 4-0, Bates? Is it the same?
As much as you want, Bates.
Not the same.
It won't change the facts that they can win against the best in the world.
What's the phrase? Almost or whatever, like horseshoes and hand grenades or something like that. Exactly. Okay. So we don't care about that nonsense. Bro, it's about getting the W. And they're not getting the W at the LAN, and I can't see it happening just yet. But I do think they're going to have a chance. They might lose another game.
TBates, you literally just said earlier in this stream, G2 were 1 goal away from beating FaZe in a game 3, and if they win that, they would have won. They almost won that. They lost 4-1, and you're telling us that they almost won. And now you're like, 4-3, don't want to hear about it. It doesn't matter. You're picking and choosing.
I did say that, but once again, see, Chad, this is what y'all got to understand. Johnny's a genius, because he's very good at taking parts of what people say and then stripping them and putting them somewhere else. You're the one who said it, You said it. Not me. I said those words.
Doing that though.
I said those words.
I'm telling you what you said.
But it was a different. But it was in a different context. I said that.
It wasn't.
In that G2. No. It was a different context because I was saying that G2 had a chance. To
almost beat FaZe. You're saying they almost beat FaZe.
They said, yeah, okay, and Liquid almost beat Gen G. Am I saying that Liquid can't beat Gen G? No, I'm saying they can beat Gen G.
But you would agree they almost beat them, and it does matter because now you're saying, yeah, they did almost beat them. I think you're. I mean,
it matters to put them on the list, but it doesn't mean that I have to say that.
Would you say that NRG nearly won RLCS Season 5? Would you say they were close?
Yeah.
Would you say they were closer than Method in Season 4, who got swept? Would you say that was a closer, like maybe very, very close to win. I think it probably was. I think it was. I think the reason it has to. I'll tell you why it has something to do with something. It's because that is, that's how close Garrett G and Justin and Fireburner were to. That's how close Fireburner was to being a world champion. Where like a lot Mets and Magnus close to being a world champion. Not really. They got swept in the final. Like there's a difference. It does matter what the series score was. It's very relevant. In terms of like how you rank
not for
teams.
Bates because G2 managed to beat BDS in a Game 5 overtime with 2 opportunities for Mark by 8, and they smashed that lad. No chance they ever lost.
So in that case, it's about who won because the team you liked
it's always about
got lucky.
FaZe is better than G2. FaZe is better than G2. I didn't say that G2 was better than FaZe.
I feel like you're picking and choosing, Bates. I think you're picking and choosing when to say the win is all that matters, and when you say actually this team nearly won, this team nearly won, that team nearly won, and that's why they're gonna win this next time. Like you got to be consistent.
I'm saying they're competing against them. They have a chance to win. That's all I was saying. I was asking Yumi, do they have a chance? Like, does G2 have a chance to beat FaZe? And Yumi said, I don't think so. I said, that's crazy. Because in my opinion, if that game had changed, if they won that game 3, they would have had a really good chance to win. I probably would have favored them to win. So, like, Liquid's the same way. If Liquid has a chance against all these teams. And that's why I'm going to ask y'all at the end, like, who y'all think is going to win? Liquid's one of my teams who I think can win the LAN. Hence why all 3 of their players are on the list.
I actually said they do have a chance of winning, but there's no shot. Like you're looking at a reasonable record, you're never going to bet on them if on a 50-50 odds, and I think it's silly not to. I would realistically say pretty much any team has a chance of beating any team. So
that's not true. That's wrong.
Well, that's not wrong. So
Gladiators ain't beating nobody.
0% chance they beat anybody.
0% chance. You can mark me down on.
I don't know. There's got to be a chance because Detonator.
Why would you say that?
There's got to be a chance. Detonator took a game off FaZe last year.
I said win the series. I didn't say win an individual game.
Yeah, but that was FaZe.
I'm not win the series.
Bates, that was FaZe. Now they're in a group with Ground Zero, who are like 2 LAN debuts. 2 of their players are on a LAN debut, so it's like it's possible. I feel like it's possible. It's not a 0 chance. I need to make some
like death segment changes in like the rotation. If Gladiators end up winning like round 1, I just
get Bates on there
just so I can laugh right next to him. We'll come back from break. Wave will try to do an intro, but he won't be able to because I'll just be laughing the whole time. Why would you say that?
I mean, yeah, because think about it, Bates. Just to pause, to go on the Gladiators for a second. Gladiators beat Elevate, who outperformed KCP at the Fall Major. And now, Gladiators are coming in to play another OCE team. One of the players from KCP, granted they're looking a lot better than KCP did, but 2 of them are LAN rookies. I'd say they've got a chance. It's not 0. And if you're on the desk of the major, you're not going to say that they have 0 chance.
I will say they have a 0% chance. I will not lie to the I will not lie to the APAC fandom. I will say that there's a 0% chance they win this series, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
I think that Gladiators have a better chance of beating Ground Zero than, just to answer Garrett G's prophecy that casters always talk about them, than NRG did to win the World Championship, even after making top 8. I think that they have a bigger chance than NRG did to win Worlds. I don't know if you agree with that one.
Wrong. NRG was in top 8. They had a chance. That's a crazy thing.
Well, I mean, Gladiators are in top 16, so I think they can make top 12. I think they can win once.
I guess. I wish the Gladiator boys nothing but the best. I think they'll compete. I think they're going to put up a fight against Ground Zero, but I can't see Ground Zero losing. I really can't.
Yeah, they're not winning. Let's look at number 16.
Let's see what's next. Who are we going to roast this time? Okay.
Chronic!
That's interesting.
Oh, no! Bates!
What's wrong with my list, bro?
I'm trying to figure out who his top 15 is, who his top 10 is even.
He's got streak.
Chronic at 16! And I've got Atomic at 18, and he's saying this is the worst pick ever, and then you put Chronic at 16 straight next to me. You do this all the time. It's stupid.
Are you saying, wait, time out, boss. Are you saying that Chronic is on Atomic's level?
Better.
Yes! It's a Scott.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Better, clearly right now.
Chronic is better than Atomic at Rocket League.
I don't know if Atomic's on TBates list
right now. Yes. Right now, yes.
Is Chronic on Atomic's level? Can we get a 1 in chat if you agree with that? I feel like I'm not going to get any 2s. It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
You don't think Chronic's on Atomic's level?
He really is the most disrespected. He really is the most disrespected star in the game. That's crazy.
Oh, you're disrespecting Chronic. Don't turn that around on Atomic. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Right now, Chronic is definitely better.
Chronic is not as good as Atomic at Rocket League.
Someone agrees with you.
Gen G
Chronic is not as good at Rocket League as
Gen G.
Oh my god.
Base Gen G Chronic right now is better than G2 Atomic at Rocket League. He is. Maybe you change the teammates. You go back a year. Probably not. But right now, yes,
that is an insane take. Wow. I get y'all are like recency bias, and even in the recency bias, once again, if you watch G2 play, Atomic is playing his best Rocket League he has ever played. He is better than his MVP season. They might not be winning regionals, but he's playing better than he ever has. So wow, to say, wow. There's only one person in North America that is as good as Atomic, and it's First Killer. I'll take that back. 2 people, First Killer and Beast Mode. But First Killer and Beast Mode, it's only 2 people in North America as good as Atomic. That's insane.
Before you spill on 20 different points. If Atomic is playing the best Rocket League he's ever played and goes 0-4 to Gen G this split, then how can JNAPS being 20 be a bad pick? How can Chicago being down there be a bad pick? He must be carrying them so hard to be losing 0-4 to Chronic.
Wow, y'all base a lot off of team accomplishments.
What do you mean? Oh, he's so good that he still goes 0-4.
Oh my gosh! If Chronic was as good as Atomic, Gen G would never lose. And I think Chronic's got potential, and maybe one day he can't be as good as Atomic. But
do you think he's out? At least maybe you think Atomic's a better player. Fair enough. But do you think Chronic has outperformed Atomic this season?
As an individual?
Yes. Has Chronic? It's a very simple question. No trick question. Has Chronic outperformed Atomic? No. You don't think Chronic has outperformed Atomic?
That's like do you think Chronic has outperformed Beast Mode?
Yeah.
As an individual. Wow.
Yeah.
Right,
easily. Is that even a question? I was waiting for the real question. Why are you
going back and forth on like team performance versus indie? I feel like at what point are you going to weigh team performance in there? Like
he's a third of the team.
Grand finals in a row.
We gotta act like V1 is as good as Gen G.
He's a third of the team though. It's not like he's like 1 out of 11 or 1 out of 15.
And he's playing with 2 great players.
He's a third of the team, Bates. He's quite a significant portion.
Well.
They're all a third. Wait a minute. You're right.
Like what?
I'm just saying that it's all team performance is like, come on, he's a third of the team.
No, it's not all team performance. When you're on a great team, you still have to perform. Which is why you gotta rate people like Itachi. You gotta put people like a Chronic in these lists.
Apparently you don't.
You have to perform.
But what I don't understand is that Chicago and JNAPS are 2-time World's Grand Finalists, and they're playing with a player that you think is one of the top 3 players in the game, and they can't get back to where they were, and you still rate them so high against a player that right now is doing what they want to do.
How much better is Jack Nolly than JNAPS Chicago for Atomic to be better than Chronic? Like, you must think Jack and Nolly clear JNAPS Chicago by so much, Bates.
Well, let's go the other way. You're saying if G2 are doing what Gen G are doing right now, that you would rate Atomic lower because he's got a better team around him all of a sudden because they're performing as a team.
Say that again.
Well, you're saying that, G2 aren't performing, but it's not Atomic's fault. He's playing incredible. He's playing the best Rocket League ever. It's just that Gen G have a better team. So you're saying if G2 were winning and they were this complete team, this complete package, making all the grand finals, that now all of a sudden Atomic's worse? Because that's kind of what you're doing with Chronic. You're like, he's not as good because his team's performing.
I'm saying Chronic is good. I'm saying Chronic is good. Chronic right now is played better Rocket League than JNAPS in Chicago this year.
Who's better, Alpha 54 or Chronic?
Alpha 54. Chronic's not as good as Alpha 54, bro. They're just like, I don't think you understand levels of players.
Team results don't matter. You got Alpha 54 at 26.
Wow.
Can you put Alpha 54 up here in 16 and we'll take Chronic off the list?
Just get him out of here.
Don't do that.
You should have done that. You should have just left him off the list and maybe we wouldn't have noticed. Maybe we wouldn't have even picked up on it.
Jack and CJ last split.
Alpha's definitely better at Rocket League than Chronic. Chronic's got a better team, bro. And Chronic's really good at Rocket League. Chronic's getting up there. Like, Chronic's making moves, bro. But, I mean, come on, man. It's hard to crack that upper echelon of players. Like that upper echelon, like I'm consistent with it. It's really hard to make it into that level.
But you're
like those are the best in the game, bro.
It's not like
fluid like that.
It's not like Jack and Nolly were dominating the world before they teamed with Chronic. Jack was finishing 9th to 12th at Worlds. Actually, not even 9th to 12th. He was finishing like 13th to 16th at Worlds, and Nolly came top 8 after struggling on. He came top 8 with Army Corp after struggling on Guild for a year. Like these guys weren't dominating the whole scene. They were like very good players, rated players, but no one thought this was going to happen. They picked up Chronic, and now they're the best team in NA, most points for the year. Right now, number 2, but best for the whole year overall. Like, you're not going to attribute... Chronic, you think Jack and Nolly made that much of a jump individually? And Chronic's just getting carried along?
I don't think they made that big of a jump as individuals. I think Abjack, if you look at the numbers, 1, if you look at the eye test, 2, even the World Championship, Abjack was balling. Abjack was balling. If Nolly has been balling since Guild. If you can go all the way back 2 years ago.
No, my point. You're missing my point. You're missing my point, Base. But I'm saying Jack played with Jarius and Scrub, and he didn't look great. Now he's teaming with Chronic, and he looks amazing. So are you not? But like, do you not think maybe, to use one of your favorite phrases, that Chronic maybe enabled Jack? You think maybe that's possible? Because you're saying Nolly's a great enabler. Do you not think Chronic enabled both of them? Because he's a third of the team.
He's a great teammate.
He's not getting carried here. He's enabling Jack and Nolly as well. Like they're all enabling each other. They're just a perfect fit for each other, and that's like largely due to Chronic. It's not just like Nolly's enabling, Jack's carrying, and Chronic's like, cool, I've got teammates. I
don't think it's carrying though. 16's not bad. I think Chronic's a great teammate. I think he's got some of the best potential in the game. I think he's performed higher than any expectation. Like he's already exceeded all expectations. So like him playing with Jack and Nolly, in my opinion, 2 of the best in the game. I mean, listen.
But they weren't before they teamed with him, though. Like that's the point. Like they were far from the best in the game as a combination. No one thought Jack and Nolly, that's just whoever they pick up, they're winning everything. No one thought that. Like you can't just say, they picked up Chronic. Yeah, they could have picked up anyone and they would have won this. No, it's because they got Chronic. They got the perfect third.
Exactly, and that's why Chronic is on the list. Because if it was just anybody, if there was just anybody, it probably wouldn't be on the list. Chronic's great, so he's on the list.
You can't just say he's great as 16 like that. That's low for Chronic. That's low.
It is. It's way low.
Way low.
Johnny,
for Chronic. Yeah.
I like your pick on a Chronic 16. You and I rating a Chronic.
We've all got a Chronic in there somewhere. Pretty close actually.
Yeah, everyone's got a Chronic now.
I like that.
The highest rating.
We've all got a Chronic.
I think new Liquid rely on a Chronic a lot more than old Liquid needed to, just because of how well they're solidly playing as a team. So
yeah, very good team, very good trio, very close ranking trio. A Chronic and the other 2. I think we've actually talked about all the other players in this rank. Let's continue here before we get stuck on this Chronic disaster. Nice pick, Yummy. Love that. Good choice.
Yeah, you can't have the ball. 15, 21, and 20. It's disrespectful to the ball. You don't get it. You'll find out. A couple weeks time, you'll find out.
I hope so.
You'll find out about the ball.
I hope you're right. Honestly, I would love that.
Top 15 is great, to be honest.
I would love it. Let's go a quiet round after the. If
this was based off the first event of NA, Raiseball would be much higher. But since then, there's been a clear class above.
The ball regional 3 was good as well. Give me some respect.
I've got to say, congrats to Bates. After he got it 5th try, like after 4 horrendous picks, he got one right. Like I feel like typically you could sell that. Like there's probably something going on there. To
be honest,
a cold streak
TBates, our lists are looking pretty good. Like you put Chronic, terrible, but I put Nolly. Like we're around the mark, 15, 16. And then we've got Subical swapping spots. We're looking good together right now.
You have Atomic at 18, bro.
You put Chronic at 16. Don't ever disrespect my list again. That is so
Atomic at 18.
We're not going to go back to it. It's the same. I'm not going to discuss it.
You have Atomic at 18, bro. Your list is done. You have one of the best players in the game at 18.
Come on. We just had a 20-minute discussion as to why your list is done.
That's because Chad and all 4 of you are on some recency bias. Well, 3 of you on recency bias and 1 of you paid off.
It's the whole season. It's the whole season.
And 1 of you's paid off. Chat's on the recency bias with 3 y'all, and the other one's
recency bias.
It's the whole season. Half of a year is not recency bias. That's the entire season.
You're like, let me tell you about the machine. Because Atomic in RLCSX was incredible, and I agree with you. But unfortunately, that was about
I
8
hope
years
you have
ago.
Turbo Pulsar #1 on this list.
Let's do a 14, Johnny. Let's pull it up.
Let's pull it up. I think we're good to go.
Let's keep moving.
Let's keep it up.
Atto's pretty low, by the way.
Hey, Johnny, you like how I've got them next to each other like you did? Just a little bit higher.
Ooh, the Atomic 14. You got them coming top 8, I'm assuming, Johnny, because you said he was their best player.
So it's either top 8 or 9-12. I've got a feeling that G1 are going to run into Secret in round 1, and I think that's pretty close, actually. So yeah, KV1 and Atomic, I've got them pretty close on my list. I think Atomic is the best in his team by far, but I don't necessarily think they're going to beat Team Secret, just because I've got him quite high. I just think he's going to really stand out. I think he's the best player in his team. So,
do you think playstyle-wise, if Secret are playing super defensive again, that G1 will be able to figure that out?
I think Secret.
That's my worry.
My favorite to win that is Secret, but if this list continued further, you'd see both of the other Secret players. I don't have any other Secret players on my list. But if the list continued further, you'd see both of the other Secret players before Dorito were marked by 8. Dorito had a pop-off performance to qualify, but I think Sad and Knight probably gonna go pretty big this LAN in the group of life. And yeah, I like them in the matchup versus G1. But yeah, Atomic's a monster. EU Atomic with a K. Ridiculous player, so I've got to put him in there.
He's better than Chronic too, so we know that. We know he's better than
Tyler
Atto,
Bates.
Itachi. Awesome. Alpha 54.
Why do you have Reed Simmons at 14?
Reed Simmons is disrespectful.
That's the point. Yeah, you're right. That's the point. He should be at 14. What is Reed Simmons doing up there?
He's a land performer. I expect him to perform. He's a great player also, and usually I have him somewhere around here. I don't really think he deserves a move as of yet. So
you got him over Chronic.
Sure,
the whole team
G2.
Liquid. You got over the whole team
all of
Liquid.
G2 over Chronic.
Madness.
Okay.
Madness.
All of FaZe over Chronic.
Actually ridiculous.
I mean, he's a land performer. Chronic's also a land performer so far. They're both land performers.
You can't say that. He just won a major.
Which LAN are we talking about for Chicago?
No, that's recency bias.
Which LAN are we talking about?
Yeah. Because I'd say, actually, if we're talking a LAN performer, usually to me means a player who does better on LAN relative to the rest of the field compared to how they do online versus the rest of the field. I don't think there's anyone who plays better on LAN. Obviously, players are going to play better at home and the setup they played in and on for years. But yeah, I think relative to the field, Chicago's more of an onliner. I think he's more highly ranked online if you were to do player rankings. But LAN, he usually goes down a little bit for me because he had JNaps and Atomic usually outshine him. Whereas online, you can say Chicago. I think, Worlds is maybe the one time I think Chicago, maybe edged it, but they were all very close. Very close.
I just didn't think there was a way for anybody to truly mess up this list, this LAN. I felt like
it's perfected. It's expected performance,
but...
and I think a lot of y'all just think Carmine and Gen G are gonna be guaranteed shoe-ins to this top 4, and I'm letting y'all know it ain't gonna happen. It ain't like that is so hard. That is so hard for both. And I don't know, it sounds like a lot of y'all honestly do have the both of the 1 seeds just going straight into the grand final, which is gonna be crazy to me because the chances of that happening are slim to none as well. Wait, Gen G's
probably higher than G2 versus I don't know what other team you've got up there, but
yeah,
you're making an equally crazy stab in the dark.
Yeah, this time the 1 seeds making the final has to be more likely than any other combination of 2 teams making the final. It has to be the most likely grand final. Karmine Corp FaZe. What is a more likely grand final than Karmine Corp versus FaZe? Saying I don't think the 1 seeds are both going to make the final is not a bold prediction because there are so many other possible grand finals. But if I were to pick a grand final that's the most likely, it would be FaZe Karmine Corp for sure. It's the most likely. Okay, what is a more likely grand final then? Than that.
Don't say G2.
Oh, you said the most likely grand final?
The most likely grand final. I think FaZe Karmine Corp is the most likely grand final. And saying that, both the 1 seeds never make the final.
They have a 6% chance of that happening. I think the grand finals are so hard to pick.
The percentage doesn't matter. I just think that it's more likely than Karmine Corp
I think when you say it's the most likely, people hear most likely, and I think you mean 30%. Put a percentage.
No. I just mean more likely than any other final. No percentage needed. We don't have to think that deep. It's not that deep. It's just they're the most likely.
No, but that matters though. Okay, more likely could mean 1%. That's not so then it doesn't mean anything.
No, of course it means something. It's the most likely. In fact,
can we not argue this point? Can you just say who of all the teams, even if it's 10% chance, is the most likely to be in the grand final?
Yeah, stop stalling. Who's your most likely grand final?
It would be that one, but I'm not saying it like you would. I think our most likelies are completely different. Yeah, I think your most likely.
We can't have different most likelies. It's just a definition. We don't need to have different definitions for something that has a definition. It's the most likely. It's self-explanatory.
G2 versus G2.
We can't have different most likely definitions. We're just saying it's the most likely. I think it's for the one of the rare times. It's not always the most likely, because sometimes a team can get most of their points early in the split and then kind of fall off, and maybe they're not so hot coming into LAN. But yeah, Karma Corp, they lost the most recent one, but they still look pretty good. I think they're probably the likely grand finalist.
Most likely has a range, and if you don't apply a statistical number to that range,
okay, what's the number? What's the percent?
Well, yeah, I'm asking Johnny. Cause my most likely,
you can't just pull a number.
It has like an 8% chance or something like that. Like that would be my most likely. Like it wouldn't be like maybe a 12% chance.
Like, I'll be completely honest. Number. I've not thought about that at all. I just think it's the most likely. But numbers, like if you want a number, I'll get back to you later because I don't have it right now. I'd have to go and calculate that because like that is like many different. There's so many possible like grand finals. You'd have to like look at them all and give them all a percentage. But off the top of my head, I don't know. It's like just the most likely. That's all I can say.
The eye test guy trying to throw percentages. That's the eye test to me. All right, let's look at 13 anyway.
Let's see what's happening. We're getting at the halfway stage here.
Okay. Ooh, Ahmad 13. So Falcons are making a long run.
I love that Jane Apps 13, 14.
I didn't think Ahmad was going to be up there when TRK's at 20, but actually, no, you think Ahmad's the best player in that team for some reason.
Is, always has been.
Not this split.
He definitely has not.
Is Ahmad better than Chronic?
He sure is.
I knew he was going to say
oh my goodness.
You know the answer.
He's headstrong, isn't he? He's headstrong. He will stick
You can't catch him. He's paying attention.
He's good. He's good.
He's not slipping.
Ahmad had a better split than Itachi.
Has he had a better split than Itachi? I would say relative to the competition, I think Itachi played pretty well. In EU, I think EU's harder, so I would say no. I think Itachi's really performing. But it's about Mina, it's just about making the land for them.
I think Ahmad is phenomenal, but he would be the first person to tell you TRK is better than him and has been for their entire time as teammates. Maybe he's had some series where Ahmad's popped off, but he's not nice. He just knows, like everyone else in the Middle East, TRK is that guy. And Ahmad, yeah, he's a great offensive player, but TRK is like the all-rounder. He does everything. So TRK is definitely better than Ahmad. I sometimes have put Ahmad above TRK in my list because I'm trying to like make a Hail Mary prediction. Just to throw in something really random, but I think TRK is better than Ahmad, and he's been better for all their time as teammates. Like you're saying that Ahmad's always been the better player. I disagree with completely. I think that's definitely way off. Not even close.
At LAN, yes. In LAN, yes.
No, LAN online, TRK is the best player.
Online, he's just a better offensive player. He's offense, and you're really that great at offense, which Ahmad is. He's in an elite category. Up there with the Yans and the likes in the world in terms of like offensive prowess. I mean, it's just hard to
ever name drop Yan. I know the disrespect you have for Yan and how you put Alpha 54 above him. So
yeah, Alpha 54.
I don't want you saying his name and just besmirching it as such.
I guess Ahmed's a beast, bro. Ahmed's a beast, and I think that the way Falcons play right now has been kind of clipping Ahmed's wings, for lack of a better phrase, because they don't pass the ball like they used to. They really don't. They don't move the ball around. They don't give Ahmed enough touches, and I think that's the main issue. He's taking a back seat. They're doing more of this air dribble, straight down the line play style. When they used to come into the game, they used to move the ball left, right with Senzo, and Ahmed used to dominate. And he still can't dominate, but it's more solo plays now. At London, he was the best player. I don't understand how people say TRK. If you go and watch the tape, Ahmed with 1v3 offense. I need the score right now. I'm doing it. Nobody can stop me. And like
TRK literally hit like the goal of the tournament in the grand final.
Doesn't that Joyo in that grand final?
Joyo's goal was really good, but the series was over already, and I don't know. It was like very low boost defense. TRK hit like a flip reset mind game straight into the top shelf. off, not top ins maybe, but to do that in a
Johnny,
grand final game 7 is like best
people
goal of the tournament in my opinion. Like,
would not give an MVP or best player based off one goal. I cannot believe you'd even say that.
I'm just saying TBates is saying like Ahmad's like 1v3 and people. I'm like, TRK had so many moments like that as well, and he definitely.
I mean, I'm in TBates camp that I actually think Ahmad was slightly better than TRK at London overall.
They were they were close at that one. But I think, TRK is for me the better player. Like, I'm arguing TBates saying Ahmad's always been the better player. I think there's moments.
I think TRK was better.
TRK's definitely been the better player. If you look at their entire time together, he's clear number one on that team. It's not even close. That's what I wanted to contest on. But actually, recently their playstyle is more like a 3-man offense. Khaled's getting forward a lot more rather than being third man. So it's interesting. They're trying something a bit new, I'd say. But hasn't been too clean. Who has Archie?
Yeah, first Archie pick. Interesting.
Archie 13.
I think that's why he left. I think that's why he went to the bathroom.
Archie 13 is insane. That's crazy.
But to be fair, like, I'm assuming that.
Well, he's got Joria's higher.
No, he's got Joria's 18. Yeah. So
yeah, whether you have him at 25, so you're thinking that
Archie has never had a bad land.
Me, I've got him at 19. I've got Joria's at 19.
That's true.
No, I'm talking
Archie
Bates.
has never had a bad
13's fine. Like, I think once
terrible.
we get,
I think that's reasonable.
That is terrible.
Once we get into like top 12, bar the really top, it's pretty. You can swing it around a little bit.
I will say,
I think Chronic at
16
is terrible.
I think since we got a bit of downtime, I remember Johnny calling me out for putting Archie above Joria's last time, and
that's because Joria's was outperforming him last time. Now Archie's been outperforming Joria's this split, so I think new teammate and Archie's popping off.
So
yeah, definitely at the fall major as well. Archie was better, but going into the LAN, Joria's I think had the pedigree and also the online performances. Yeah, well, we might have to come back to Archie. Shall we? Dazerin's back. He's back. Okay,
go next.
What's up? What's up?
Oh, we were just talking about your Archie pick at 13. Chat doesn't mind it. We have to wait and see where Rise is. We've decided we want to see where Rise is before we
fair, very fair.
Want to go too deep on that one. Let's see what's at 12 for everybody.
You can see where Rise is. He's right there.
Wait, what? Why are you so happy about that?
Typical 12.
Rise at 12, man.
He's a certified land boy.
Above Rise. So.
I just can't, man. I just can't, bro.
Oh, shut up, Chronic 16. It just comes off so. Rise at 12.
No, don't tell me shut up about Chronic at 16. Do you actually believe that Chronic is better than Rise on LAN?
With a broken wrist, probably.
Rise!
The
man who has
a broken wrist, yes.
Never played bad at LAN. You actually think that Chronic is better than Rise?
Wait, has Chronic ever played bad at LAN?
What? Get that nonsense out of here.
That's TBates.
Say Rise has never played bad at LAN.
That's what TBates was saying.
Not use the same idea for Chronic.
You did the same thing earlier with the whole 1 out of 1. Yeah.
Get that nonsense LAN out of here, bro.
G2's made it out of groups every time there's been groups at RLCS LAN, and now you're like calling him out for using a 1 of 1
Rise at 12 is criminal, bro. Nobody thought Moist. Nobody.
Where Oxygen coming?
They whooped Carmine at Rotterdam. They whooped Carmine and Rotterdam. Whooped them. Wasn't even close. Moist with Rise. The team that nobody was picking Moist to do well at that LAN. Not like that. Make a grand final? Not a chance. Rise is a baller, bro.
But he's also got
absolute
dog. The Chronic's never lost a LAN.
I'm not even talking about. I mean, like the only reason I singled out Chronic is because Yumi brought up Chronic. But the fact that Rise isn't guaranteed at minimum top 10 is ridiculous. At minimum, like oh my gosh, that is disrespectful.
To be fair though, I think there's a range on Rise because of the broken wrist situation. It's recovered, I believe, to some degree. And I said, I think he's going to be close to his best, but I don't think he's going to be at his full potential. He's had a lot of time off, not practicing, not scrimming. So to think that he's just going to come straight in. He tweeted yesterday that, sorry to anyone who gets me in twos, or no, for anyone who queues into me as a teammate in 2v2 right now, I sincerely apologize. Like, he clearly doesn't think he's in great form after having the cast off.
Majors in 3 weeks.
And can you say as well, like, we came into this split, this new Oxygen lineup, like, oh my God, they are going to take over the world. They're going to be clearly top 2. You know, it didn't really happen. Like,
Rise is a LAN player, though.
But, but do you think there's a point though? He does have a broken wrist and he's not been practicing.
He's got to have 3 weeks of preparation. He'll be just fine.
Every other player has had months of preparation.
Okay,
like,
I just can't believe putting him at 12 with an injury and still recovering and a new lineup on LAN is disrespectful.
I think
12 is still ridiculous.
I think if CJ has Archie very high, this is fine because Rise is probably going to be a playmaker this LAN.
I think it's also okay to not have Archie very high in CJ's point of view.
I think
Oxygen have the biggest range because they're a little unproven because they kept versing Carmine Core.
But I've also got Joris like the highest.
Yeah, you do have Joris quite high.
Yumi. So I've got 17, 12, and then maybe who knows, maybe inside the top 10 or 5. Like,
I don't hate it.
Oxygen, that's still a top 4 for Oxygen. Like, what are we doing here? They're not just going to... I can't just predict them to win the lane.
Rise has 8.1 hours past 2. Sorry to expose his hours. He's had a broken wrist. I'm not exposing him. He's not lazy.
17.
He has 8.1 hours.
He's got double.
Well, like, that's not great. That's not great either. Like, I guess that's more reason for me to put him at 22. Thank you very much. Good job, mate.
It's a ramp up. It's 2.5 weeks. The hours will all be up.
I don't know, like...
we thought that about Dignitas too back in the day at LA Major.
All right, Dignitas.
I saw him play. He played with a broken wrist, cast on, sling on in the 3rd regional. I think he's playing with no sling, maybe cast. Chat, do you know if he's got the cast on? Possibly he's getting it off. Can't remember exactly right now, but he's got the sling off now, so he can practice again. He didn't look anywhere close to his full potential with the broken wrist sling on in regional 3. He looked a bit sluggish, understandably, because he wasn't practicing because he had a broken wrist. Now he's not practicing as much because he's recovering from a broken wrist. So will he, be a little bit lower than normal? I think maybe. I think CJ might be, it's low, but it's not that low.
So we all have Rise higher, so we all kind of disagree with CJ, but it's not at the... If he had him like 16, that would be...
Yeah, he's not like 20. I think like you're low on him, but like I don't think it's too low. I think there's a point. It could happen. They could come like... They could get eliminated in quarterfinals, and this will be fine. I don't think it's like crazy to put them at 12.
Well, I think it's pretty like high or low, whichever. If they get eliminated in quarterfinals, like to have all of them are this high.
Chat saying his cast is off for anyone for VOD watchers without chat on. He's saying cast off, so he's practicing now. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be absolute peak. If he's peak, then that's incredible. What an insane comeback to form. He's not been playing since Regional 3. He's not been scrimming or practicing at all since Regional 3, which was a couple of weeks ago. Was it 2.5 weeks ago? I think something like that. So, long time. But anyway, number 11.
I just feel like even if he performs, you can't be like, oh, I told you so. It's like, I've got him at 12. Like, it's still top 10%. Well, it's
20%, yeah.
Oh, sorry to cut you off there, CJ. I've just revealed the next row, and we've got a beast from Dazerin, Alpha 5411. What on earth is happening here?
If Bates won't do it, I'll do it. Because I know something that's going to happen regardless of how Vitality do. We're going to talk about Alpha 54 for the rest of the season. Alpha's going to come out and he's going to drop, how many points was it? Over 450 points a game. He's going to put his name down. He's going to cement it. And we're all going to be talking about Alpha. And then when he gets in after the next split, Vitality on top, baby. Alpha 54, obviously I have Redosa, no Sison on the list. That's pretty obvious. That's all I got for Vitality there. Somebody had to do it. Someone had to do it. I'll take that.
Listen, I respect
this is brilliant. You've taken Alpha 54 away from TBates. He can't claim Alpha 54 anymore. He belongs to
you. You got me, man. You got me.
And you've got them doing well because you got Redosin in your top 24.
That's a good take. Well. That's a good. I mean, listen, I like the boldness. I like that. CJ, good pick right there with the naps. I like naps.
We've done it again. How many is this now? We've got
that's a good row. I like the bonus and Alpha. I really ain't got no problems with that row right there. I really got no problems.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a very Nolly 11, Chronic and Jack ahead of him. That's a very good result for Gen G by the looks of things for Yumi. Very curious to see how high the other two are We've have we had any?
Yeah, it's an
we've had
interesting
both
one.
phase
I mean,
players.
now that it's been revealed, I'm like, hang on.
Yeah, are they
it's a
winning
bit high
this?
for all three of them.
Are they
It's a bit
winning
high
the
for all
event?
three of them.
That's
fine.
a good list, Daz. I
really-
like that take. I like that take. Well done.
I like that Nolly is. I like Nolly. You know, I think he's phenomenal for
That's
the
the
team.
Margo put a Gen G player down. That's the real question.
I think there are multiple times where he could have been MVP.
Whew. We'll get there.
All right, let's see who we got next. We've got that's EU Atomic at 10 from Bates. That is very impressive.
Wow,
From the
that's
top.
really
Ahmad at 10 for Dazerin.
I'm at 10. I like that. The Bab. You've been learning from Bates. That's what I like to see. You've been learning from me a little bit, not too much.
Yeah, I
though.
always knew you.
Not
leaned
too much
on
though,
Bates
but
for all of your takes, Daz.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Protege.
I'm rubbing off on you. I'm rubbing off. I'm at 10. I like I'm at 10.
What? Stop. Everybody stop. I said what I said, okay? I said I got Falcons in the middle of the spot. If I will say this, Khaled is not on the list. I think obviously Khaled in the last year or so has been the worst performer on Falcons, which again is not a super big dig at Khaled in general, but it is just kind of just showing where Falcons are. I said it also that Falcons is kind of like in terms of where the community stands, it's a little bit like in the middle point here. And when Falcons came in, we were really high on them. Recently, there have been people who have started to be kind of like doubting on them. Wait, what did I say? I don't know.
You gotta say your G's a little bit softer.
You said
big,
dig,
not super big.
It ain't a super big dick.
I said big. You know
said
what I'm
big,
saying the
dig.
other word, trust me. But that being said, Falcons kind of in the middle of the pack here. I'm giving them I can see them really going back into form, but I could also see them really falling off. So I feel like I'm out of 10, TRK 16. I feel like that's respectable to both players.
I like that.
To Falcons.
I like that. I'm at 10. I'm with you. I also agree. This is Falcons' big land. If they don't perform here, they'll never. I don't think they'll ever be able to get over that hump. And I think they're gonna actually ball out.
The next one if they don't perform it.
Nope. I think Ahmed comes balling out. I think TRK does some damage. I think Falcons can make some noise here. I really do.
You know,
who's
Khaled's been their best player
T-Bates?
recently.
Atomic with a K or Alpha 54?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Alpha 54. That's not even a question.
Okay.
You know, I think Khaled's actually been their best player recently. Maybe it's TRK, maybe barely this split, but I'd say Khaled has been number 2. Ahmed's been a bit cold recently, trying to find his right card, trying to find his right play, but I don't know. I don't really view Falcons and Sandrock before them as you guys seem to think it's Ahmed, TRK, Khaled. I think it's more like TRK is the best and Ahmed and Khaled are very close, personally. If you look at the whole time they played together as a trio, I don't know who chat would go with, but I don't think it's a clear 1-2-3 at all. I definitely don't think Ahmed's the best player like you guys do.
Ahmed's the best player.
This is crazy take. Absolutely crazy. I honestly don't know what you're watching. If you think this is, are you cherry picking series? How much of their series have you watched to think that? I feel like it's got to be TRK. And then Khaled's pretty close to Ahmed. I don't think it's far. I think it's a big difference at all.
We've always rated TRK, man. I'm telling you, you can rate him all you want. He looks good on all parts of the field. Yes, his defense is better than Ahmed's. I understand that, but his offense is nowhere near as good as Ahmed's.
That's that's where you're wrong though. It's definitely very similar.
Impact in 3v3, I don't even think I really.
It's if Ahmed is a 10, if you're comparing TRK's offense to Ahmed's, if Ahmed is a 10, TRK is a 9.5. If TRK is a 10 on defense, Ahmed's a 7. TRK is just better.
It's like a 7.5 on 7.5, 8 maybe.
Okay, I'll give you the 7.5 then, but still, it's not as close. I think TRK is very close to Ahmed on offense. Right now, he's been a bit cold though. He's not looked like himself. They've all not looked like themselves. I've got them the lowest out of everybody. What a incredible surprise!
Because you changed. You've changed and you've lost faith. And don't worry, when they prove you wrong
you've been
in this
watching
land,
I've watched Worlds, I watched the Fall Major, and I watched the Saudi LAN, and they didn't look good at any of them. So I'm backing 3 LANs.
What happened? BS looked terrible at Spring Major. What happened? They won the World Championship.
That was one LAN. I saw 3 in a row bad LANs. I've seen the Saudi E-League right now, and the World Championship before it, and the Fall Major before it, and the World Championship before it. 3 in a row.
Their World Championship was that bad.
It was still not as good as it could have been or should have been. It was they were a top 8 team, definitely a bracket of death, but they did lose to 4-0 to FaZe. They shouldn't be losing 4-0. to phase in that tournament. It's just not something that's acceptable for a team of that caliber. So yeah, I think that right now they're on a cold streak. So I'm taking that into account. I think all
it needs a little bit of the LA sun. I mean, not LA, it's like California sun. The California sun.
It's so far though. I don't think it's so far to travel for OCE, and also not just OCE this time, but for KSA. I'm pretty sure that their time in transit for KSA to San Diego will be close to 30 hours, and I believe they're playing Saudi E-League right up until like 3 days before they got to go. So it's tough, very, very tough.
Got to factor it in.
OCE is actually not in a bad spot because it's West Coast.
Oh wait, no, OCE is closer. So actually, they have the farthest travel for this land. This couldn't be in a worse location for KSA, for Saudi Arabia. It's 30 hours ish of time in transit from like leaving their homes to arriving at the hotel, and that's if not there's no delays, which you never know. It's a lot. People saying like copium. Listen, if you guys aren't taking jet lag, distance, time traveled, and like who's boot camping and who isn't, who's going out and getting acclimatized into account, then I think you probably should Twitch chat. It's like there's a reason why EU does better in EU lands and NA does better in NA lands. It's because they don't have to travel as far. It's like where they're used to playing.
I will add on to that because I normally didn't really experience the jet lag until like Rotterdam. And it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. And then trying to like adapt to like a new time zone and everything, like it's really hard because you gotta like make yourself sleep. Unless you got something that can like make you sleep like that,
honest,
like it's kind of tough.
I think
World's Dallas, I had 4 hours at night. It was terrible.
I haven't felt no jet lag just yet in my life. I haven't felt no jet lag.
Touch wood right now.
You fell asleep Championship Sunday on the desk.
Because that was a 10-hour show, bro. It was 10 hours, and I was watching some of the most boring series of all time. So yes, I was gonna fall asleep, and I was gonna fall asleep. There was a whole section of the crowd that was only here for one team. The team lost, and then the other section of the crowd was for another team. They both lost. So I'm like, wow. I'm just watching the ball go in. I think I will go to sleep now. Go to sleep.
I feel like when you're my age, about 122, you'll start feeling the jet lag as well. So I guess the young players probably have a bit of advantage, but there's still a reason NA do better in NA and vice versa, and why people go boot camping. Mm-hmm. And it's not copium for Johnny Boy. He's giving reasoning because he's rated Falcons the lowest. It's not.
Yeah, they've got the furthest to travel.
If he was finding a reason to put them higher.
Yeah, it's been extremely consistent. It's not like this is me cherry picking one LAN where NA did better in NA and Mina did badly in NA. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. They really, I think, messed it up big time.
Oh my god!
Gen G were the anomaly because like no team has flown the wrong direction. I've got to like low key call out the org. The org had them in I think LA for a content piece before then fly. So they flew like Canada to LA and then they went all the way back to Europe. And they ended up winning it. But like that's a case of like this going against.
I don't think
history.
The jet lag's as big as you think it is. I really don't. I do. Well, I'm saying in general, I do think that this Falcons travel. I do think that this Falcons travel.
I'd love to see before we just gloss over that. I'd love to see the scientific like papers backing up what you just said because I can promise you there are lots of them proving that jet lag affects performance out there. So you can do your research.
There's a lot more around sleeping.
I don't think it is big. Yeah, but I think you're putting a lot. I think you're putting a lot of stock into it. I do think that in this Falcons instance that it is going to be a problem. I mean, 30 hours to travel, you're playing in like 2 days after that. That's a lot. That's a lot.
TBates is a massive factor. As someone who's gone to the NA for I think 10 lands now, I'm not playing, but I can tell you the amount of times in North America when I'm like flying over there to cast, the amount of times I'm tired throughout the day and just have to take naps while I'm there and I'm struggling to sleep at night and I'm just feeling drowsy and not well is significantly higher than when I go to lands in EU, and I've been to over like dozens of lands in EU as well, or maybe a dozen or so. So like from personal experience and from anyone who's done multiple, like you wait till you I think you're I'm glad that you didn't get jet lagged in Rotterdam, but I don't think you're going to be so lucky every time. It's rough. It's bad.
Let's go number 9. Come on, let's do it.
But yeah, touch wood. Don't say something like I've never been jet lagged without touching wood. That's like keep that streak
There's
going.
some great studies on actually sleep and performance in sports and esports now because there's some Aussies that are doing studies on sleep in esports. So.
What the? Oh hell no! This
He lied. He lied.
Oh my god! He faked this out.
God! god.
He's
Oh
back.
my
Dad's
God,
trying to
he's
take
back.
the Alpha 54 cap, but T-Bates just put it back in. He put it back on.
he got it back.
Oh my
He never
God.
left the top 10. We thought he was gone.
They moved him down 3 points.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Well
god.
done, Bates. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Now explain yourself. Now explain it.
Did y'all actually think I wasn't gonna have Alpha in the top 10? You actually thought that man Vitality ain't gonna come to San Diego and ball out? Y'all actually thought so? You're lucky that his team isn't as good as everybody else's, otherwise he'd be higher. This man is a bad man. That man's a bad man. He's about to come out here. He's about to get W's. That's all I gotta say. Listen, if his team was a little better, just wait till he gets in. Just wait till he gets in. It's over. It's wraps. Once he gets in, it's wraps, man. That man is disgusting, and he would be higher on this list. But I don't think he's gonna go as far. I think his team isn't gonna be as good as everybody else. But he's about to show everybody why he is legit one of the best players in the game. Alpha 54 is a dog. A dog.
You're right about one thing, Bates. We should have known that you weren't being reasonable by leaving him off your list. We should have seen this coming. Like, I can't believe
It was just proven,
we didn't
though,
see
by
this.
his list and how bad the rest of the picks were that surely he could have had Alpha 54.
We should have, yeah, exactly. We should have seen this coming. I can't believe we fell in for this. Like, this is all the arrows. Now, and then in hindsight, it was obvious. Like, he's tried to hide all these terrible picks at the bottom and now distract from all of them by throwing Alpha 54 at 9 so that we forget about them. I'm not forgetting anything. This list is horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous. It's going to age like cheese out of the refrigerator. It's going to be awful. I'm just looking up and down right now. I cannot believe this is honestly one of the worst lists I've ever seen. It has to be one of the worst I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
It's up there. I almost said the worst, and I remembered Rolled is like top 25 players in the world. Like when we first did this, and he had extra at 24. I'm like, okay, not the worst then. Never mind.
Yeah, that was
Sorry, Rolled, he's not here to defend himself on that, but it's up there. I think it's up there. This is terrible. There's got to be some massive
crazy
upsets for this to work.
I obviously have Atomic as the second worst out of all of us, out of our lists, and yet CJ has him doubly low than I have.
CJ's
That's crazy.
insane. CJ's an insane man. And
Well,
also,
no, you've got Jane Apps at 20, and I've got him at 11. So don't try and act like it's.
the Gen G players. Wait a second. Yeah, where's Gen G at on all y'all's list?
I got Nolly at 22.
I got Nolly there.
I got Nolly in there. I got Nolly in there.
I got Nolly as well.
It's just Daz who's just.
I am excited for
solid.
Dazerin's 1, 2, 3 on Gen G. That'll be fun.
I want to explain my look. I've got Oski above Atto because once you get to land, it's about the size of the human being. when you're staring across from that Polish absolute giant, it is just the most intimidating thing that I've ever seen. It's like you look up top, he's got a baby face, but then you look down and he's the longest, staunchest human being in the Rocket League community. Oski's in chat right now. He's a unit.
He's a unit. He looks like short. He looks short from a distance. He looks short from a distance.
His brother has a security, so you got two 6'5" goons walking around.
I heard the bodyguard is coming to San Diego. I'm excited.
You got two goons walking around. Is Oski taller than Jorius? He is.
I think it's similar. Maybe he's
but then Oski's bigger though. Oski's a unit.
Oski's built.
Honest,
He's a brick house.
He is built like a brick shit house. He is and that's always going to step up. He's got to be the best player on Liquid. Looking forward to it. Top 10.
He's a dog. He's a bad boy or whatever. Bad man.
A bad
man.
He's a bad boy or whatever TBates said.
You bad boy, Oski.
Sound right.
He's been very naughty.
Let's go.
All right, top 8. We're getting serious now. We're getting very serious. Almost colored Nolly blue.
Oski as well. Let's go back to him. He's a bad man.
He's a bad man. Now, a lot of people were talking about me having a towel at 15. I initially had a towel higher than Oski, but I had to do some research, and I looked at statistical data. Oski is statistically the highest performing player on Team Liquid. So, with that being said,
what statistics? What statistics are we talking about here? What statistics? Yeah.
Okay. I think literally everything except for demos and saves, which a Chronic is better than.
What about like?
I looked it up.
What about just like, I don't know, points per game at the last
points
major?
Per game, I'm pretty sure.
What about points per game at the last major or EPM at the last major?
Part of me was when I was looking at my research, I didn't think, man, I should really find out points per game at last major because Johnny's going to bring this one up. So I forgot to do that one specifically. I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, okay,
I was looking at the regular season for this split. Well, yeah, just the regular season actually. Yeah.
Someone actually put together like a whole like study of like how different stats in Rocket League correlate to actually winning in Rocket League. Like they looked at how when a team is winning, how good are their stats in various categories compared to the team that lost. And actually, it turned out points per game correlates more to winning, albeit not much, than even like Octane rating or any other stat like shots, saves, goals, assists. So points per game is pretty. It's not a bad stat. It's like still
halfway dead.
None of them correlated that well. I was halfway dead actually. I can't believe I forget that. But yeah, halfway dead did this. But I think the closest one the closest stat to like actual results is EPM because it takes results into account. So yeah, shout out to that guy who does that on Reddit as well. I don't know, points per game correlates more than any other
I've
stat.
been hearing
though.
about points per game since DM Rawlings was a statistician, if you know who that is. That being said, maybe I need to change my perspective a little bit. I could potentially.
I just don't think he's better. He's not better statistically. I don't hate putting him higher, but he's definitely not better statistically and everything.
I put Oski higher than Atto last event, and then afterwards, proved myself wrong. So that's. I was on the same camp as you originally.
I just want to say that
you see him in person.
You see,
I just want to say that if DeMar wasn't paid off by Gen G,
this is ridiculous.
I understand you're paid off, so I understand you're about to do something ridiculous here, but I got Noli in the top 10. Noles, you know how good I think you are, man. That boy's a baller, underrated.
You think he's carrying Chronic that much?
I don't think
18-16.
What?
See, whenever like Nolly, so you're telling me whenever Nolly passes the ball to Chronic and Chronic like scores a double flip reset, you're like, Nolly is a genius. Well, way to enable Chronic for passing. He passes the ball to Chronic to then completely clip on everybody. Who's doing more there? Just as a quick question, quick side note here. I think Nolly's great, but like to say he's better than Chronic
the facilitator is doing the most on the pitch.
When you pass the ball to your teammate and they double flip reset on the opponents, though, like who's doing more?
Double flip reset.
Yeah.
Does he do that every single time or something? I'm missing something.
Chronic is pretty consistently clipping on everybody this season. Yeah, he's been a clip machine.
Okay, so, that's great.
Yeah, no, he's passing the ball and demoing
so remember game six and at grand final Rotterdam. We even had the comms for it. They reached the comms. I believe Chronic was saying shoot. And Noli was already 3 steps ahead of everybody, like he usually is. And he dropped it down to Abjack, caught the whole entire Moist defense off, and then Abjack slotted in an easy shot. What?
No, that is a brilliant. Obviously, in that instance, the pass is more impressive than the shot. But you're saying that every time he passes the ball is more impressive.
That's just an example of the value that Noli brings. Noli brings though. Noli is 2-3 steps ahead of people. He's 2-3 steps ahead of people on most plays. That's just how he plays, bro. It's not just about the passing. It's about the rock. Yes. Whoa.
I had a Chronic is crazy.
He has one of the highest Rock League IQ. He just knows what he's doing. He just knows what he's doing, man. Like he just really is that dude, man. He is one of the best enablers in the game. He's one of the best enablers.
If he was one of the best enablers, I think he is. But if he was always like just good at enabling anyone, if Nolly was this good at enabling any teammate, he would have had so much success with multiple different rosters. But actually, he struggled on Guild with many different iterations of players. He did.
He was the best player on Guild.
No, I like for all of the next season, not RLC Season X, which is a long time ago. I'm not really thinking about that, but all of like 2021, 22, he was struggling on Guild with different iterations of players. Joins Carmine Corp, and he does get success there. But Astral and Itachi are kind of good, very good at Rocket League, so like that was not as surprising. But no, yeah, you can't just like say it's all Nolly that Chronic's playing unbelievably well. You've got to acknowledge that Chronic is clipping on like world class players every time he plays.
Yes. But
he's not playing well. He's clipping. He's like styling.
They're both clipping in different ways. Like what? Like I don't care about somebody going for a double reset. I really don't. I'm just care about getting the ball in the back of the net. And and they both do that in different ways.
So did you say you don't care about somebody scoring a double reset as if any goal is the same? Like, no.
A goal is a goal!
No, it's not.
Like, what?
Definitely isn't. Do I remember TBates saying Itachi is a tap-in merchant? No? was that just me?
Yeah, I was saying...
Were you discrediting his goals as if they're not worth as much as
it takes skill to be there. Itachi's one of the best players in the game utilizing low boosts. I call him a tap-in merchant just to annoy people. That takes skill to be there, bro. Goals are goals.
No, this is. I don't know if I.
It don't matter whether you go for a double tap reset. I don't care. It's 1 point. It's 1 point. It's the same thing as you play great defense. You get the counter attack.
It's absolutely not the same, teammates. Like we can all relate to this.
Man.
If my teammate 1v3
4-4 pops up, it just says 1. You don't get extra points for going for all this fancy stuff.
Teammates,
I think there's a much bigger logical inconsistency that we need to talk about. And CJ. Has Archie had a growth spurt or something? What's going on?
Hold on. I can't leave this right yet because I think you can't say that a tap in when your teammate 1v3's enemy team is the same as like just a crazy 1v3 play. No. I'm just saying my last thought on this, a tap in after your teammate 1v3's to pass the ball to you is not the same as you 1v3ing the enemy team and scoring the goal. Not the same, not even close. That is a crazy bad take. Top 5 worst takes of TBates this stream.
This stream is crazy.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt the Archie Oski height comparison there. I just wanted to get that final thought out there.
To be honest, I don't really think about the height factor for that one. It was kind of only for Oski's pick, so I've dropped the ball there, to be honest. I also want to say as well, I've put Rise at 12. I'm getting rinsed. Johnny, you've got him at 10, and Daz, you got him at 9. Like, let's pump the brakes.
I defended you. I defended you.
Similar.
I would say I defended the 12. I did. I thought it was
just
not crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that crazy. I thought it was okay.
Let's do 7. Come on.
Kobe, I've been having some pretty tame picks. Like, I just look at Demar and like Johnny and like Yumi's list. I'm like, I can't really say much. I mean, like most of the time, y'all
because they're just good. They're just good lists.
Yeah, I mean, y'all just put in like it's just like regular picks. Like, I don't know.
What do you mean? They're just good
now,
lists.
Let me tell you about the ball. All right, let me tell you about the ball because you guys have him at 21. You've got him at 20. You've got him at 15. It is an absolute joke. Put some respect on this 1v1 absolute freak. Physically dominant. He's a beast in real life as well. It's gonna come to the factor at land when you see him. Raise ball. He's massive. He's gonna smack you if he doesn't beat on the pitch as well. He's an absolute freak. CRR, nowhere close. Nowhere close. Sit there at 21, mate, and watch the ball dominate this land. All right? Put some respect on him. Underrated player.
I like it, honestly. I want to see it. I hope you're right. I hope you're like bang on with this. If the Raze Bull just takes over, I'm here for it. It could happen.
It's a
honestly,
possibility,
it's not a bad take.
just like it's a possibility that G2 beat Carmine Corp.
It's a possibility that the Bull does that. I mean, I can see it. I think him and CRR are both very good. You can have CRR? Yeah, you do have him at 21. I mean, I guess.
Bit low for CRR.
I mean, you're putting your chips in Raze Bull. I can see it. I can see complexity doing damage. I can see I can see Raze Bull doing it. So
I don't mind it.
Does anybody know how tall CRR is?
He's not that tall. I don't think he's like.
He's not that. He's
not a towering figure.
Not intimidating.
When you see him at land, you'll know the bull is the dominant. He's the man. When you stand that complexity line up with each other, it's all about the bull.
But like, do you know? I put CRR above him because he played very well at Gamers 8. He was a beast on LAN. So we've not. It's his RLCS LAN debut, but he was a monster in Gamers 8 in every game mode, including threes. So I think he's going to be great on LAN. I think the whole team's going to be very good on LAN.
I think the Bull's gone past him, though.
I think the Bull's past him. I still with CRR over him, but the Bull is definitely an intimidating presence. I will give you that.
He is, and you know, TBates has to be on my side because he's doing the underrewarded stuff. You know, CRR, he's got the mech, and you know, he's clipping on kids.
Raze Bull does do the off ball stuff a lot.
The Bull's getting dirty.
The Bull
the Bull sees red on the pitch and he gets dirty. He's a bad man. The Bull. He's got to be top 10 at the major. You watch.
I can see it.
That's where the Bull get the horns.
I'm not gonna lie. I might have want to move. I kind of want to move the Raze Bull a little bit higher, but then it would have just been even more madness. But I guess, listen, I
can't move him above Oski because Oski's bigger.
I honestly could have moved Raze Bull above all those a lot of people, but then I just have him down there. I can see. I can see it.
Chronic.
I don't think I do that.
Oh, okay. Number 6. Let's have a look. We're moving well.
Nolly at 7, that was expected. It was going to come.
We just finally got a Gen G player in Dazzlers. Right. My goodness.
Right.
Who's my 6? Oh, there he is. There's the GOAT.
Last season this would have been a full like EU role lockout, but like not anymore. We haven't had any role lockouts.
Wait a second, Abjack at 6.
Can I say that this is now you say that TBates, but this is the biggest swing ever for me because I didn't have him on the list at Rotterdam.
You're delusional. You're delusional.
Now I got him
delusional. That's why. It's insane. Abjack at 6 is
Abjack's so tall.
He's got more places in my list than anyone else, so I'm actually rating him the highest at this.
Abjack at 6 is crazy. Addo at 6.
What is wrong with that? Please explain. What is wrong with that?
You got a lot of belief. I haven't seen it at Atlanta. I haven't seen him perform at level 6. So you're really hoping.
Oh yeah, of course, because a loss is a loss. They definitely didn't nearly beat Gen G, the eventual line winners. Yeah, it didn't happen.
But they lost.
Loss. Loss didn't happen. They weren't the team that played. They definitely weren't the team that gave Gen G the best series in the last day of the competition. Nah, it didn't happen.
I think Moist did. I think Moist gave him pretty good shot.
It seemed like it had them 3-1 down. Moist they won one game. And then they lost 4 in the next 5. Like, no. Seemed like we were closer.
Listen, getting a spaceman swap's not a good thing. That shows that you don't know how to finish.
What is
Liquid's actually done it a couple times. When you're up 3-1 or you're up 2-1 and then you lose. It's not good. It's not good to have on your resume. I like it. Okay.
You think the fact that they took them to game 7 is actually bad for them? You've somehow
I think the fact they were up 3-1 and they couldn't finish the job is bad. So I mean, like.
So you think that just like losing 4-1 like FaZe did, that's better because at least you weren't up 3-1 and throwing. Is like, come on.
I think it shows more. I'll be honest with you. When you're up either 3-0 or 3-1 and you lose, I think it shows more.
That's crazy.
I think it shows more about the team that won.
You found a way to rationalize like losing 4-1 like G2 did to FaZe being better than losing 4-3. That's insane.
See, I haven't brought my basketball comparisons yet. I'm not gonna do it. I'm going the whole entire time without doing a basketball comparison. But chat would know what I'm getting about if I talked about the only 3-1 that ever happened. They will know. They will know. The people who know basketball. When you're up 3-1, it shows more about the team that lost than the team that won. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it really does. It really does. But I like it though. I mean, I can see. I can't really. I don't know. That's a lot of faith. That's a lot of faith in them. I mean, I give them.
They're a top 4 team in the world, and I've got them 16, 12, and 6. You know, they're like pretty close together, averaging out to about an 11, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think they're too high. You know, top 4 team in the world. That sounds about right to me.
I guess. They can make a run. You got faith in them. Abjack at 6.
They've got the group of life, so they're guaranteed top 8. They just need to win once to get semis. Like, come on.
Do you seriously think Abjack at 6 is worse than Chronic at 16? You seriously, and in terms of how close the top 6 players are.
Stop telling Nolly to look away. No, don't tell. No, don't tell. Your chat's just told on me. I don't believe this. You're all grasses. You guys are unbelievable. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, chat's like completely exposing me here.
Yeah.
But Nolly says
you're
Chronic's
low hours Andy, mate.
Jack
so
6
that's all you need to know.
Jack 6 is fine. Like, he could still play the same or like similar level to what he did at Rotterdam, and he's right there. Like, he's the difference in the top 6. It's the margins of who's going to win. Yeah, it's like who's going to win the event. I don't have Gen G top 2 in my
prediction. Plus, you don't have Chronic on your list yet, so that Jack at 6 is totally fine. Yeah. Not even. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Better than Abjack. Wow.
He's done it.
CJ, your Abjack at 6 is perfect.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with you. Let's do 5. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
Top 5 at the Winter Major.
Can't believe TBates was so harsh on.
Look at Dazerin, just spot on, like absolutely on the money once again. Genius pick at number 5 there, buddy. Congratulations.
You see me.
I thought Itachi, I would have had him highest, but Yumi doesn't have him yet, so there you go. No, he's a freak. I got KC.
To be in the top 5. It's just my.
I'd probably have the best online split of anyone on KC.
It's just mind blowing to me how Itachi is brainwashed on to put him top 5. It's all good though. I'm gonna let y'all work.
Is this brainwashing? Oh yeah, you went and played well. Wow, what a joke. He got us with that one.
Recency bias.
You went and outperformed everyone in the region for the whole split online. Wow, you really fooled us there.
Yeah. Wait, Johnny, you got G2 going like top 4.
No, I like probably a close. I said this earlier, close loss in the quarters. I think they're going to be a respectable loss in the quarters. Is where I've got them. Going 2-1 in groups and losing to KC in a very respectable series. I think they're going to do well, but it's carbon.
So they'll be like the best team in the 5th to 8th.
Yes, G2 best team 5th to 8th. I think is probably right about where I'd have them. Although again, a lot of good teams in there. Like. It's hard to say. Oxygen could be in there. Liquid could be in there. Complexity could be like popping off. Like, I think it's G2 and one of Liquid or Oxygen will probably be your best teams from the 5th to 8th. I think. Somebody's saying Johnny considers having the list. Definitely. I'll never put 2 colors the same next to each other. Of course. It's like, are you serious? Do you not see how aesthetically pleasing this is? Like, it just looks way better than anyone else's lists immediately before you even look at the names. So, of course,
I'm about aesthetically.
Absolutely.
Wait, I've got away from that. I started the color coordination
at number 1.
Oh yeah, there's a poll here.
I started the rainbow list, but I've gone away. I said it in a Reddit comment. I'm just going for the objectively best list, and I'm doing it so far. I'm looking forward for the next pick as well. Are we ready though? Are we ready for it?
Yeah. Your last list was objectively the worst because you had to pick off the list. So
I'm about to have the best list. Because let me tell you about Alpha 54.
Oh my! There's just no way.
This man is an absolute one-man army freak. Alpha 54 is going to come into this land and he is going to absolutely dominate every person he plays. It's all we're going to talk about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's the Alpha 54 show, baby. He's going to pop off. His teammates, who are they? Can't remember. We'll wait for Zen next split. But apart from that, he's an absolute freak. He's going to dominate Alpha 54. I'm taking him. I'm taking him all the way.
TBates, you lost him. Why'd you rate him 9?
I can't believe this dude's trolling me like this. He definitely messaged Jamie and told him to put him 4 or something. He messaged Jamie on the side. There's no way to do Alpha for his list 2 hours ago. He definitely just got his list changed. He took somebody out. He took somebody out of his list to put
I think he's looking a little guilty, actually.
He did not put Alpha 54 in there. He switched it up. Alpha 54 was not in this list 2 hours ago.
I just can't believe that everything, all of the stock that Bates put into Alpha 54 was a complete waste of time because now CJ took it all with one top 4 prediction. Like, that's incredible.
Jamie on the side, bro. He did not have him in that original list. He did not have him in that original list. No, you did not.
It doesn't say it. I'll clip it. Here you go. There you go. You can look in our chat and just confirm that this is what I sent This is what I sent over 2 hours ago.
No, it doesn't show edited.
That does say 11.
You gotta show the whole. No, you gotta show the whole message.
It does say the time there.
Okay.
It shows the time there.
I need to know.
I've actually spoiled my list.
I need to know if it says edited though.
You're the worst person at looking innocent if you didn't do this because you look so guilty.
No. You sent a tiny screenshot. It only says edited at the bottom, and you didn't send the whole entire list. So I need to see the whole message.
Have my list. I didn't. It's my list.
No, because what you did is afterwards you messaged him and said, "Can you switch?" You didn't edit in the list.
Well, that is. What do you mean? That's my list. What do you mean?
No, he did have Alpha 54 in the 11:43 a.m.
I guess you did.
You did. He's had it in the whole time.
43.
Archie 4.
So what you're saying is he submitted the list before the stream was meant to start. I mean, after the stream was meant to start.
Yeah, I did. No, it wasn't a great look, but it took me a while to get it.
So he submitted the list after the stream started?
No, but when we weren't live with
at 11:43,
we weren't live yet. We were on the waiting screen.
Like a couple minutes after that.
The stream was live, but we weren't live.
But anyway, it's good to have the best list. The ball's in here as well. Good to see you number 7, Alpha number 4. Oh, it's good to be at the top. It's tough at the top, but someone's got to do it.
I thought I went a bold pick at number 1, but you've just outdone me. So I'm ready to vote CJ's list as the best list at this point. It's just
Dazerin's still putting first killer in 4th position. 4th killer once again.
4th killer. That's
he's
right.
slapping him in there.
Until
FaZe pay him the big bucks. He's not putting him any higher.
First of all, second of all, there's no amount of money that will make me join FaZe Clan at all. Actually, maybe there is amount of money, but guess what? FaZe doesn't have that money. I know that much for sure. Now, secondly, of course, until first killer gets past fourth place, he's fourth killer to me. Once he gets past that fourth place, we can talk about it, but I gotta see that.
All right, let's see the top 3 on everyone's list. Got quite a lot of synergy here. In fact, we've got a complete third place lockout for NA. Red across the board.
Hey.
For the first time in the stream. Great picks with apparently Jack and Chronic there. Love that. That makes great sense.
Confirmation in our chat. Thank you.
I see it.
No change is made. Yeah, CJ had that Alphabet 54 at fourth the entire time.
54 at fourth. He didn't think that I would put him any higher than that. He was gambling. And that's why he has it there. He was like,
that's actually so smart though.
Time.
Yeah, he's getting 5.
Got him. He was like, there's no way he has him higher than 4. So
no, this is genius because you probably did you think CJ? Okay, TBates, he had Alpha 54 at 6 last time. He might sneak him up to 5. I'm gonna go 4.
He'll be around the mark.
That's genius.
He'll be around. I couldn't have him any higher, but no, honestly, I think he's going to play well. I don't know about that, but I think
that'll be the best performance in a 9th place I've ever seen. I can tell you that.
He's going to pop off.
He's going to average 550
They're not making top 8, but he's going to absolutely dominate. I believe that. He will dominate.
That's so crazy that TBates doesn't have Atomic in his list. I really would have thought you would have had him in there.
It's so crazy that Joe have Chronic in the top 3. That's the crazy part.
Daz doesn't have CRR at all, so I'm pretty mad about that.
Listen, that was a hard choice. Okay, I like
no CRR. Wow,
it wasn't a hard choice to put him in the top 25. I can tell you that.
It was between, for me, it was either him or the Bull. I put the Bull at 20. I never mentioned my honorable mention. That's my honorable mention right there.
Oh, no. The honorable mention was KV1. The honorable mention. Maybe.
For who?
Yeah, the 25 is the honorable mention. We
just put his honorable mention's Andy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's CRL's 26.
The honorable mention.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we reveal 1-2 for somebody who wants to go first here? Let's get the 1 and 2.
Yeah, go me, because you guys have already seen one accidentally, but I'm happy to go first. Just get out of the way.
I didn't look. Other than that.
So here you go. Here's my 1-2. I've got FK1. I think this is FaZe's land. They're going to finally do it, and he's going to have the best performance on land, even though he always performs. He's going to go to another level. Vatira is always going to be top 3. I mean, if he's not top 3 player at land, what's going on?
Just gonna jump in and agree. It's FaZe's LAN. It looks like they've got it this time. They've finally got it. I've never predicted them to win a LAN, but this time I am doing exactly that. I've done my predictions on stream. I think this is the one. They finally seems like they've gotten all the pieces in the right place. So I think first killer Vatira, clear number 1-2.
All right, I'll do mine because I went the crazy first pick. I'm a big Itachi believer. Gotta go Itachi number 1. Let's go. He's huge. Yeah, I'm sorry, Daz. So he's gonna smash it. I mean, I originally was like, Vatira has to be up here, but no, I'm gonna say Itachi continues his form and outperforms Vatira at the LAN as well. Let's go.
Oh,
y'all just making stuff up, bro. Y'all just making stuff up. Y'all are trying to find ways.
Oh, come on, you! Don't even talk to me about Itachi. You don't know game. You haven't watched a single game of Rocket League except for the quarterfinals of Rotterdam. That's the only series you've ever watched.
There's just levels to this, and there's Itachi. I'm like, I love his game, but like he's never gonna be as good as a first killer or a Vatira or something like that.
Let's have a look at yours then. Come on,
it's just never gonna happen. Okay, put them up then.
I'm just going to pre-color them red. I knew it.
You already know.
Double red. I already know.
You already know they're going to be red. Exactly what other color would they be?
Too. Wow.
You know exactly what the business is. That's my 1-2. I think they'll...
T-Bates is lost. T-Bates list, I definitely had the question. Like, L.
Listen, I never do it for the chat initially. I do it afterwards. I do it afterwards.
Forward to the poll.
Johnny, throw it up. You already know what it is, man. Just throw it up.
Wait, he's
got Jack 1.
You don't even have CRR on your list.
Wait, I'm going to go. I'm guessing red. Yep.
Jack 1.
Guessing blue. Yep.
There you go. Did anybody guess any different? GG Mobile 1 racing in the top 10 once again. You always sit there and talk about it. Oh my God, he's paid off. I'm sorry the winning team continues to give me the cash because guess what? They're going to come to the land. They're already underdogs. So guess what? They might lose a little early. Jack's going to rally the troops because why? He's one of the best players in the world. And once he gets the team going, they're going to be unstoppable. That's absolutely right.
Dazerin, one quick question. Did you forget about Exotic? What's going on here?
No, I didn't. I absolutely remember to not put him on this list because, hey, guess what? It's the top 25 performers at the LAN, and I don't think he's going to perform.
Thank you, Damar. Thank you, Damar.
I think Itachi's going to perform. I think Vati's
going to perform. And
I don't think Izana's going to perform.
As if there was enough reasons for TBates to have the worst list of all time. You don't even have Exotic as well. I've got him low in mind, but to not have him is insane. That's insane.
Yeah, not to have him on it. What's he done to be on this list? Better than any of these players? Not a chance.
I guess
you talk in the world.
You talk earlier on about like most disrespected player is Atomic, like absolute joke of a take when you're like disrespecting it. So many players when we do it, is Exotic not being in the top half is crazy.
I got his 2 teammates within the top 10.
How's he in the top half?
Because there's 48 players at the LAN, and he's better than half. He's definitely going to be better than half of them, no matter what happens.
Well, it's not about being individually skilled; it's about performing.
So when Exotic facilitates, useless. When Nolly does it, he's the 8th best player at the LAN. Like it just doesn't matter.
Facilitate like Nolly, not a chance, bro. Not a chance, man. No way.
I guess like you need like a really obvious, like blatant, like clean pass in order to realize that there's a player facilitating. Like if it's not like blatant, you're just not going to see it. So I guess I would advise you just get on Exotic POV next time that there's a replay and like with him in it, and really try and think about what he's doing. You might start understanding where he's facilitating his teammates. Because I would say he does. I don't know if I'm gonna make
it that far. I don't think I'm gonna make it that far. I'm gonna fall asleep during it because I don't think he's gonna really be doing that much. Personally.
Y'all, there's
listen, if you don't like Exotic gameplay, that's fine. I'm a big fan of the bot Fennec.
You did the 2v2 mix up, and what happened? What was he doing there, Johnny?
Exotic got slapped.
He got the same score as Alpha 54, who you have at night. He got the same score. What do you mean Exotic to deserve? He got 5 as well.
Get your votes in.
I mean, CJ, let's just do a summary. CJ's got Atomic at 18. TBates list, I mean, don't need to even like point out.
That's a poor summary of my list.
No Exotic and Daz. Like, you know, honestly, Yummy Cheese Man's got like, I think the biggest threat this time. But honestly, I think CJ's going to steal it purely because of the storytelling. The list is terrible. The list is awful. Let's be honest.
My list is not terrible.
It is awful.
It
is awful.
Let me have my closing statement, all right? Not only are you just dumb idiots that I'm around right now, just not understanding how to make a top 25, but I've got the big boys in their 10. I've got the Bull in there. I've got Oski. You'll see him at LAN. They'll dominate. The big boys. I got the size factor. I preach on the Alpha 54 pick on TBates. That's a W. And I put Atomic at 18.
You don't even believe.
I put Atomic at 18 just to show that I can put a pick down there. It doesn't matter. My list is still that much better. I clear you guys.
That's what I mean. Your list is so funny that my troll Twitch chat's going to pick it to win. I'm pretty sure.
They already
did.
Finally, you get an NA team, you get First Killer at number 1, only so that you could have the rainbow list. Like, come on.
No, First Killer 1 was like, that was the first pick I put on there.
Rainbow.
I started with First Killer. I started there. But like,
and you did rainbows. I haven't done it. You don't try and say your Twitch chat's trolling. They're picking the best list based on their analytical minds.
It is the coolest list. I will give you this. If your list ends up being right, it is definitely more interesting than any other like potential LAN lining up with any other list. I want to see the Bull up there. Alpha 54 being 4th would be hilarious. It would just be like the best story ever. So I definitely want that to happen. The Bull at this LAN
is going to be like the cannon in Rotterdam. You just wait and see the Bull.
I want it to happen.
And Cash was like maybe the 22nd best player at Rotterdam.
but I think they're a bit better than Quadrant though, to be fair to him. So I think they'll do better.
I don't know. What picks? I challenge you. What 2 picks have I got that are worse than 18 Atomic and Alpha 54 at 4? What picks are worse than this? I don't think they exist. Perfect list.
Well,
I'm
that's
very
just
confident.
The problem with your list, Johnny. It's just shit. Like I don't really care about it.
It's just that accurate. There's nothing you can pick apart. It's just that accurate. There's nothing to say.
No, you got Nolly at 22.
Okay, Nolly at 22. We've got to see some stats
Oxygen
aligning here for that to happen.
Some stats.
Carmine Corp top 2.
Alpha at 24 is disrespectful to the man.
How did my mic fall off of my thing, bro?
What the heck? What are you doing?
He's just holding the mic.
Yo, he's holding it, bro.
I don't think Nolly at 22 is that bad. We'll see though. We'll see. Maybe he's gonna like take that personally and just start like ball hugging and carry Abjack and Chronic, and I'm gonna look like an idiot. Which I wouldn't hate seeing that either.
Listen,
he doesn't need a ball hug to be better.
Well, that's just not true at all.
CJ has the worst list, and after that,
What do you mean?
Bates, he's got the worst
no,
list,
wait,
bro.
no, wait, no.
You've
got
TBates,
the ball at 21.
I'll
You've got Chronic at 16.
TBates, bro.
You
Come
got
on.
raised before 7, CJ.
No, Yummy's list is the worst because somehow he has Itachi at number 1. That's just disrespectful to everybody. And then after that, then it's CJ's because CJ doesn't actually believe. CJ doesn't even believe in Alphabet 4. He just put him there at 4.
He obviously believes him. He put him higher than you.
No. He did that specifically just to make sure that he had Alpha 54 higher than me. He even said it earlier. He pre-jumped me. He was make sure he was safe. He said there's no way I have him higher than 4. So he put him there to make sure that he had Alpha 54 higher for the chat factor. His list is the second worst. So then it comes down to me, Johnny, and DeMar. Johnny's list is fraudulent because Johnny always just goes for the color code.
So I'm handicapping myself and I still win. Handicap myself. It's a handicap. I challenge myself and I still win. It's like I'm so confident in this list.
Worst list prediction, a poll, please. Because
worst list poll. Worst list poll.
Just very clearly has the worst.
Okay, hold on. No. Worst can be different. So let's establish it. Is the worst list?
I want 0 votes.
What is chat voting for here? Are they voting for the list that they don't want to be right, or are they voting for the list that is least likely to be right?
Worst list.
So the worst list.
Vote the worst list, and we'll see who. TBates, look, listen, you clearly don't watch Europe Rocket League.
Oh my God, guys!
You've got a touch at 19.
CJ is a Twitch chat poll. You have to vote CJ just because it's a Twitch chat poll, guys.
No, listen.
No, to be fair to CJ, doesn't always win.
At 19,
he doesn't always win, but he's telling a story.
18, and Atto at 17. Firstly, it's disrespect. And you got the ball there.
Yeah.
It's
Mr. Dominant.
It's so clear. I've never been more clear.
Oh my goodness.
There's a whole bunch of haters in the chat. That's the problem. Chat, you all don't know Rocket League.
You know, guys, there's 5 options.
That's the issue, chat. Chat, y'all don't know Rocket League. Y'all just mad that I think that Atomic, and no, it's not I think. Y'all just mad that I know Atomic's better than 99% of Rocket League players.
Bates, I love that you think that's the problem. I love that you think that's the problem.
That since I got Chronic so low, y'all just upset. It's okay though. It's okay though. Cause once again, it's gonna be another edition of Bates Never Wrong at another land. And let me tell you, when it happens, I'm coming right for the rest of you. I want everybody to keep voting. I need more to vote. I need 80% of people to say TBates has the worst list. Because at the conclusion of this major, I'm coming back to this.
Don't
and I
fall
want
for
y'all
it.
to catch it. I will record this and then woo.
Thank you.
I've never
Thank you.
had a more sore face from laughing and smiling so much this stream. What a list. I think this is our best one yet.
This is I'm just gonna say one thing. I've never been more confident coming out of one of these streams that my one after the major is gonna be the smartest. I've never been more confident.
Never been more confident.
You can take from that what you want, but I've never been more confident that my list will look the best after the major. I've got to say CJ's definitely got the most fun list right now. I hope he's right, but I'm confident, very confident.
Me too, Johnny. Me too.
Yeah, me too. I gained all the confidence in the last one where I absolutely dominated.
How do I get this dang mic back on here? Oh wait, hold on.
You gotta.
I think I've nailed this. Like
I think you got a good list, Johnny. You know, I think you have a good list. So it helps that you're right next to the worst list. So
it does. But coming into the stream, I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I saw the competition. I was like, yeah, just absolutely knock this straight out the park. I've destroyed you guys.
Crazy lines. Crazy lines.
What's going on?
Even sort yourself out, man. What's going on?
I put Genji pretty high, but this guy's got like Genji absolutely 4-0ing the entire tournament. I like that.
Alrighty, we're back.
Have an investigation into just
Bates
what's going on with Daz right now, because there's clearly money's being transferred under the table,
over the table, under the table.
No, it's not.
Everywhere.
It's not illegal. You all know it's definitely not under the table. Okay, we can all see it very clearly. So let's not pretend.
Like I said, that's why your list is fraudulent, because you got paid off. See me, I don't get paid off. I didn't think
about paid off. I'm paid off, but
you don't get paid off.
They're right. That's the thing. I'm making money and I'm being right. This is a double win for me.
I know exactly, because you're a fraud. You're the bandwagon.
Am
That's
I
great
fraud
for you.
if I'm winning?
Yeah, you have no loyalty to nobody. It's okay.
Listen,
you're a mercenary.
You
We get
can
it. You
talk
just go
as
where the
much
check
as
goes.
you want. I will talk to you when we go back to the Dior store when I buy another outfit. Okay?
Dior store. When you see my suits at this major, you'll know I don't need the Dior store. I'm better.
Well,
than the
you
Dior.
know why? Because
You'll
you ain't
see.
paying enough to put him in that top spot.
You'll see I'm better than the Dior store, buddy. Yeah, you'll see I'm better. Dior, I'm better than Dior, buddy.
Compared to Dazerin,
I think we can end it
compared
here.
to Dazerin. Y'all know how much
going for
money
an
Bates
hour.
racking in these days. Bates got
tell us.
How much money you making?
how much I'm making? A lot. That's all I gotta say, noobs.
That's all I got.
Not enough for a deal.
Oh no. TBates.
Yeah, I'm happy
T-Bates.
there. I'll do the outro, John. I got you covered. Thanks everyone for watching again. Another absolutely fantastic top 25 play predictions. These lists are not possible without you guys hanging out and giving your worst takes as well. Really appreciate those. And hopefully one of us is somewhat right at the major. We're obviously looking forward to it. Hopefully you might see some of us there.
You will see some of us there. You will see some of us there.
I'm not there.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
And yeah, the major is on the, I believe it's the, when's it start? It starts on the 8th.
It starts on the 6th.
Sixth?
April
Yeah.
6th through the
It
9th.
is literally 2 weeks
Sixth and
until
ninth.
the winter major. Literally
wow.
2 weeks until the winter major. Okay.